was so proudly we hailed at the twilight's gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular amongst birds singing air, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Welcome to Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show, presented by the West Law Firm and Resto Pros of the Midlands, part of the Chief Sports Network, and proud partners of On3, Go Gamecocks.
He'll be fine on the mountain.
Consecutive home runs for Carolina.
It is good. It's gone.
He's in. Touchdown. Williams with a throw to the plate.
He's going to score. It's a walk-off.
Touchdown, South Carolina.
Well, I have a microphone and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say.
Papa Top again.
Freak. Finally, Friday, I'm free again. I got my motor running for a wild weekend. Freak out, yo.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding out. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, ooh, shut up and dance. Don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me. This woman is my destiny. She said ooh, ooh, shut up and dance with me.
Yeah, you know, I, Matt Anderson, have looked at shifting this Shut Up and Dance With Me Friday video multiple times around, and I can never take myself to do that. It is like the one thing, no doubt, every week that is always the same, that always makes me smile. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. It means I'm on the show because for years now, JB, like I'm
Yeah,
dancing and I'm bobbing and I'm having a good time during the
I know.
intro. So whatever you do, don't get rid of it.
I'll never get rid of it. Maybe I'll try to update some of the clips or something like that. But it's been every time I go to do it, I'm like, wait, why you gotta mess with something that's good, man? We don't want to do
Yeah.
that. Greetings and good morning. Welcome aboard. Welcome home inside the Gamecocks, the morning show presented by the West Law Firm and our friends at Resto Pros, who are both always there when you need them. Resto Pros of the Midlands, Resto Pros, MidlandsSC.com. And obviously, if you are in need of some help, well, the West Law Firm has been helping for over 80 years, over 8 decades. That tells you you've done it the right way. You can trust them. 8 decades worth of helping blue-collar families in this wonderful state of South Carolina. Head to westlawfirmsc.com. It's Matt Anderson. He is our king of late night, hopefully yours as well. And coming up here in, what do we have, 15 minutes. Raphael will be back again this week. We've got more over-unders to get to with him. We're going to talk to Matt about Carolina basketball as well. They did play last week down in the Bahamas, and you're our resident basketball expert, so excited to get your thoughts and opinions. I have not texted you and asked. I did watch when they played down there, but I wanted to wait and make sure that this was pretty authentic. So we'll talk about that. John Strickland returns today, not Michael. Michael will be back next week, although we'll all be
We
together
hope.
tomorrow.
We think.
Yeah, I've got him locked in. So Strick and I have figured out what to do with Michael. I can't publicly tell you what that is, but in order to get him to do the things, it only took me 32 years to figure it out, but I've got it down now. So, anyways, so Strick will be here at 11 o'clock, and we'll tell you about something special that's happening tomorrow as well. And hopefully some of you can come hang out, and would love to meet a couple of you, except for the guy that wants to kill me. You can't come, but everybody else, you're welcome.
No.
And of course, JC and Phil will be in, and we'll talk about South Carolina football because they scrimmage this weekend. That's part of the Gamecock Report presented by Gamecock Traditions.
What's going on in Gamecock country? It's the Gamecock Report presented by Gamecock Traditions on the morning show. Visit GamecockTraditions.com or in Lexington and get your gear and apparel today.
Yeah. All right, so speaking of Lexington, I do you want to know what's on my TV right now?
Is there Little League World Series stuff going on? Or is that over?
No, but shout out to Irmo again, because one of my college roommates, Jay Brown, his son was on that Irmo team. They're pretty good. They're on. It was neat to watch them on TV and stuff. Jay, love you. Lauren, love you more. And congratulations to Jace, his son. No, in Lexington right now, it is the pretrial hearing for Alec Murdoch.
Oh man. Well, you got to stay locked into that at all times.
We're doing this again. Yeah, they're trying to get this trial if they can. They're trying to get it moved to Charleston. We're going to really bring this circus back here. I mean,
I feel bad for you if they do, man.
Oh boy! All right. Today is a difficult day for South Carolina baseball, as the great Jim Tillman will be laid to rest this afternoon. Last night was challenging in many ways, but it was also a celebration. I was speaking yesterday with Coach Lake for a little while, and it was neat, Matt, in the fact that this has been tough. I don't think that a lot of people understand how loved Jim Tillman was. Like, you might think you do, you don't. Coach Tillman was just flat out the freaking man, and he was it was so much more than baseball. As great as he was in baseball, it was so much more than that. And today, today's a big day for his family. So Charlie Mack, Tucker, Caroline, the whole family, obviously everybody keeps all of them in our prayers. And Heaven's getting crowded with Carolina baseball guys. You know, Tommy being up there and Doc, and there's too much going on upstairs right now. We need to keep that around here as much as we can, but who knows? Maybe they'll lead the turnaround moving forward. So, want to also send our in addition, Coach Tolman and his family. This is about him, but to Coach Tanner, Coach Tanner and Coach Tolman. That was as neat of a brotherhood as you could look at. It was pretty cool to watch it. And then we found out this morning that Skip Burtman passed away. Skip Burtman is a mentor to Coach Tanner. So today's a tough day for Coach Tanner and Miss Karen. And so we'll keep them in our prayers as they go through a lot. I know the pallbearers in the funeral today, Coach Tanner, Coach Lake, Monty Lee, Coach Holbrook, Jerry Myers. There's just an incredible community of men. And so I hope all of you will join us in saying some prayers for the Tomans. And, tough day. Speaking of baseball, this has nothing to do with South Carolina, but if you happen to see the Field of Dreams game last night, that was awesome.
It was so cool.
Did you see the beginning of that when they walked out of the corn?
Yeah, it's goosebumps, man.
Come on, man. All those legends coming out of the corn, like, golly, it got to me. And then I'll tell you what, somebody needs to find a way to get a microphone on Roger Clemens more often. Clemens sitting upstairs last night talking with CC, Matt Vasgersian, Hunter Pence. Man, that was awesome listening to him tell a bunch of stories. And Cody, his son, playing second for the Twins. Rocket Man. He was well spoken. Anyways, that's not part of the Gamecocks, but
yeah, but that whatever streaming service Field of Dreams is on right now, it's about to go to the moon. Because if you just watch that or even peripherally watched it, you're going to want to watch Field of Dreams today.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you haven't seen Field of Dreams, you're not only have you failed yourself, but I'm going to blame some of that on your parents. So your parents have failed you. Carolina's in pads, Matt. They're on the field right now. They started at 9:20 this morning. Full pads for the first time. 10:56 is when they'll wrap it up. The scrimmage tomorrow night at 6:56. 10:56, 6:56.
Very, very punctual.
Yeah. The Gamecocks will practice tomorrow night, 6:45 till 8:20. The first 5 periods are open to the media. And then we get Shane Beamer for the first interview following the scrimmage on Monday. This will air in a special on Monday night. It will air on Monday evening. Shane Beamer. I look forward to speaking with the head coach as we try to do every year before the season gets going. South Carolina women's volleyball, they'll welcome Georgia Southern in a 5 o'clock exhibition today. And then on Sunday, they'll host their annual Garnet and Black inter-squad scrimmage at 1 o'clock at the Carolina Volleyball Center. Admission to both is free. Carolina women's soccer, they're 1-0, and they'll head to Winston-Salem this weekend to take on the 18th-ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons. 5 o'clock is when what do we call this again in soccer? The opening kick?
No, they play on the pitch.
Yeah, no. It's not like kickoff, is it?
No, it can't be kickoff. Opening touch, maybe? I don't know.
Okay. Well, whatever. They play at 5 o'clock on Sunday. Next Thursday, Clemson is in town. So if you are going to be in the Midlands next week, you can see the Tigers and the Gamecocks. That's the first official matchup of the Palmetto Series for 26 and 27. Men's soccer scrimmages Wofford tomorrow at 7 at home, and then they open the season at North Florida next Thursday at 6 o'clock. And tomorrow at 5 o'clock, down in 5 Points, 5 Point Social, the grand opening. Look forward to being there. We're going to be hanging out tomorrow for a little while, just hanging out, nothing special. Autographs are $50. Just kidding. Nobody should ever want my autograph, ever. But one of the owners of 5 Points Social just happens to be one of our best friends. And he is here every Friday. And he is here today. And that is John Strickland. We have not mentioned that publicly. But Strick said, it's okay. My face is all over the place now because he was standing with the mayor yesterday cutting the ribbon. So congratulations to John and Ryan and Jeff and those guys. This is pretty neat how they put this thing together. So if you're going to be around tomorrow and you want to hang out, come hang out about 5 o'clock at 5 Points Social down in 5 Points. That's the Gamecock Report presented by Gamecock Traditions, where you can go shopping. We all love a good shopping spree. Gamecock Traditions in Columbia and online, GamecockTraditions.com, and they'll have it sent right there to your home. Do you have any Nike gear yet?
I have not gotten any Nike gear yet, but I am in the Columbia area today, so I plan to stop in and grab some stuff.
Are you going to be there all weekend? I didn't know that.
No, I gotta head back a little later today. So,
Okay.
but no, so I would love to be there. I mean, what they've done with that building and that bar, the 3 levels, it's going to be insane. If I could be there, I would. If you can get out there tomorrow night, guys, go have fun.
Yeah,
It'll be a good time.
Small menu, but the food is going to be really good too. I'm not going to blow the lid off that. We'll let Strick explain that if he wants to explain that here in just a little while. But,
TD did have something funny. I assume the bourbon collection will be good there. Yeah, I think so.
It'll probably be okay. I don't know if it'll be as good as John's. I'm telling you right now, when you go into Strick's house, it's I can't remember what game it was after last year. Was it after? I think it might have been baseball. I don't know. But I was staying at Michael's, but it was just me. And John and Michael live John's condo is fairly close to Michael's. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'll come over for a little while. So I went over there and we just sat around. We were watching football. So it had to be football season. Shoot, I don't know, man. Anyways, I guess not like I hadn't seen it, but it's when you go, it's hard to explain because you go right in and you just wonder, well, what's new? Where did this come from? Where did that come from? Where did well, try this, try that. I'm like, man, I'm not trying. That's a $700 bottle of bourbon. I'll just try it. You'll love it. Okay.
Dude, I texted him one time and I was like, hey, I see this kind of rare bourbon. I'm at the store. You want me to grab it for you? He was like, man, I really appreciate it. I already got 5 bottles.
Yeah.
I just said, okay. The last time I'm going to text you about bourbon.
Yeah. Like I got introduced to something that was really, really cool. And I can't remember what it was now. It's been a while ago. And I texted him and said, have you ever had this? He's like, this stuff sucks. I was like, damn, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. He's like, well, it doesn't suck. It's just, it's not
as
what
good
I would
as
say.
other things.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. All right, it's 10:16, so we will step aside. We got Raphael. Remember, you can go to social media, #AskRaph, ASKRAPH. And if you've got a question that you want answered or just get an opinion on, he is our resident odds maker, global odds maker, Raphael Esparza. So we love having him on Fridays. It's amazing during football season, clearly. And we'll continue to get through some over-unders and talk about a bunch of stuff with him. And then Strickland will be here. JC will be here. Phil will be here. Matt's going to be here throughout the morning as well. And we got plenty of football to get to. And I certainly want to talk to Matt about the Gamecock basketball program. So hang around. It's a fun Friday, August the 14th. And this is Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show presented by our friends at Palm Casual.
If you own a home, don't wait on these home safety tips. Flush your water heater, clean your dryer vent, and inspect your roof annually. Don't forget to check washer hoses and caulk in wet areas. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com.
The road to success, well, it isn't always a straight one. I tell my kids every day before dropping them off at school, don't take this for granted. Tuition assistance from the South Carolina Education Lottery helped me go back to school when I needed to make a change. And I'm so grateful because now I am where I'm supposed to be.
Better opportunities means a better South Carolina, and a better South Carolina means a better you.
Now is the time. Finish your hardwood floors with Recoat Revolution. Beautiful like new floors in just one day. Hardwood, vinyl, laminate, concrete, tile floors. Any floor. We can do it. No dust, affordable, and 5 stars. Give us a call in South Carolina, 803-397-1365. Or visit us at recoatrevolution.com. Go Gamecocks.
Do you carry? Carry responsibly with us. What could you lose from a self-defense act? Visit protectwithbear.com to find out more. Protectwithbear.com.
Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage can help you save big today anywhere in South Carolina. Over 27 years experience. Visit ggmortgage.com. Troy Branham of Golden Gate Mortgage says go Gamecocks.
Dry Space Crawl Space Solutions are your local home protection experts. Crawl space encapsulation, sump pump and drain installs, humidity control, duct cleaning, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and French drains. We do it all. Visit dryspacecs.com. dryspacecs.com. Go Gamecocks.
If you have experienced water damage, storm damage, fire or smoke damage, or need mold remediation, you need Resto Pros of the Midlands. Visit RestoProsMidlands.sc.com and go Gamecocks.
Subscribe to FourQuarterFriday.com for just $1. High school sports coverage in South Carolina. Part of Rivals and on 3. You're tuned into Inside the Gamecocks, presented by the West Law Firm and Resto Pros of the Midlands. Part of the Chief Sports Network. Go Gamecocks.
All right, 10:20. Welcome back. The morning show. Football season presented by Palm Casual, palmcasual.com. Mr. Esparza will be in here in just a moment, and we'll continue to kind of we will talk some NFL preseason. Did you watch? Were you all baseball or did you
all baseball? I don't watch much of the preseason. If it gets like game 3 when they actually have like they play the full starter reps for a whole half, I'll watch it. But I'm not big on preseason.
Yeah, it's it's football. I didn't watch any last night just because of that Field of Dreams thing. I really wanted to see that, but I did see that Jalen Brooks had a touchdown and 50-something more yards last night for the Arizona Cardinals. So he's having quite the camp. He's got a couple of games under his belt. They're pretty good. So good news. That's for sure. There are games being played tonight. There are games being played tomorrow. I won't probably be able to watch this, but I will tell you that I do have interest in the Panthers and the Bills at 1:00. And I don't know how much we'll see of Jalen Kilgore, T.J. Sanders, and J.C. Horn, and there's some pretty good football players who will, obviously Xavier's still kind of getting through what he's getting through and things like that. But there's a bunch of guys who did pretty all right at South Carolina. So before we get to Raphael here in just a second, give me a a quick synopsis on the two games that the Gamecocks played last weekend down in the Bahamas.
The first thing I'll say about it is they had 9 players that averaged 15 plus minutes a game. I think 11 players that played at least 10 minutes a game. They were throwing everybody out there. Everybody was getting experience. Everybody was getting, time on the court. And that's really important when you bring in 12 newcomers to a roster. I mean, in all honesty, Lamont playing man-to-man was really smart because you can't hide anything man-to-man. It's basically like an open tryout. You go to the gym and you and your buddies go play, and the coach picks a team. They want to see what you can do individually, how you react to your teammates. So I thought that there were warts, and there's always going to be warts in that type of situation. You got to remember, for a lot of years, these games weren't televised. And we can come back to it later. We got Raphael.
No, you can fit it. Don't worry about him. He's
all right. Well, Raphael, I'm just talking some Gamecock hoops. So yeah, they played man-to-man in the Bahamas.
August 14th.
Right? Tell me about it. But I thought that, there were some standouts. Corey Mincy, everything that he did in the Bahamas, 16, 18 points. He got hot in a microwave and just went on a 15-2 run by himself. He averaged 6.5 assists per game against, teams that were definitely not the quality of an SEC team. But everything that the coaching staff has said about him, why they recruited him to play point guard, showed up in the Bahamas. The lack of secondary ball handler really concerns me. They need Marcus Johnson back in the worst way, but he's still going to be a true freshman. But he is earning rave reviews. I thought the big men played well. Alexis Bielauskas, he averaged double figure points and 5 rebounds a game, playing 13 minutes. I mean, he just literally was a cement block down in the post that nobody could do anything with, and he showed some finesse. Jacob Nakas, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He showed what he did internationally. He wasn't allowed to do this at Duquesne, but he was getting defensive rebounds, pushing the ball up court, throwing half-court bounce passes in transition that led to points. That athleticism is something the Gamecocks have severely been lacking. They rebounded. I'm not taking much from Juan Fernandez. He's coming off an injury, coming off playing a full international season. He did not give a crap about the games, and he was there to watch and pay attention, and he floated on the perimeter, and that's something he's going to do for the Gamecocks as well. So don't take too much from it, but just say, individually, there were flashes from players.
I got a couple more questions I certainly want to follow up with you on here in just a little bit. But Carolina's 2-0 this year, boys. They beat the Bahamas national team and some team from Canada, Victoria, Canada.
Raphael, quickly, SEC teams do this every year. Are you tracking these international exhibition games at all for Vegas?
No. Look down on your calendar and tell me what the date is.
Yeah.
No,
well,
this is just an elite practice. This is like when you just bring someone else. This is like when football, where you have like here in the Saints have Jacksonville for practice, stuff like that. Which of those games don't mean nothing, because again, it's August 14th. We have many months before even real practices, real scrimmages, real exhibition games start. So this, for me, I tell people, this is why I love going on to these local shows and stuff like that, where they're talking. I'm sure you guys are talking baseball for next year. Oh, I saw this guy throw a pitch with his son yesterday, and his curveball was breaking good. Like, no,
I love that.
It's just listen to the stuff. Just visualize and keep it, and keep a note to yourself. So when you do need to talk about it, when it's right there, then you have that in the pocket. But right now, yesterday was those 2 games practice.
Well, Raphael, Gamecock fans are upset that Arkansas beat everybody by 60 and the Gamecocks only beat teams by 18. So that's what we're living in right now, Raphael.
You got to count the wins when you can get them around here, my friend.
I guess.
These will. We are going to petition the NCAA to apply these towards the regular season. What do you mean we lost to Newberry? Who cares? We beat the Bahamas national team. How much of the Field of Dreams game did you watch?
I actually watched when Schwarber hit that home run. I did a show yesterday. I forgot where, and I said I just want to watch to see how far Schwarber can hit a home run in the cornfields. And then what does he do? He hits a home run. So I was going back and forth. He hit 2. I was going back and forth between that and some preseason, and then I just got tired of watching bad football in preseason, so I quit watching that. It was just I just don't understand how people got excited. Some of the games I did watch was bad football.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of football. I did watch the Field of Dreams game. I just being, a kid with the game of baseball, watching those legends walk through the cornfield and stuff. Man, that just
I
gosh,
want to go there. I've never been there, and it's one of the things I want to go before I croak, which I should be going
yeah.
pretty soon because I could croak any day. So I should go see that pretty soon.
I know you are a cat on steroids. I mean, literally, we're sitting here talking about baseball. You're a cat on steroids. You got more than 9 lives. I know. I was Google Maps. I went to Google Maps yesterday to figure out. Okay, so there's 8,000 people that can fit into this ballpark that they've constructed out there in Dyersville, Iowa. Where do all these people stay? And obviously, you get Dyersville, which is probably like 15 minutes from the ballpark. And then there's a couple other little small towns, but I just don't think that there's 8,000 capacity either. So I don't know where everybody stays.
I'm sure everybody that lives there probably rents their home out. It's probably one of the biggest Airbnb when
kind of like the Masters.
Because you could probably make a nice killing on renting your home out. Yeah.
Oh, I got a buddy who rents his home, their home out in the Augusta area every year for the Masters, $12,000 a week.
I did it way before it was cool. I had my own apartment my senior year in high school, and I used to rent it out like for proms and homecomings and all that. I made a killing.
Oh, for proms. What do you tape it down like a locker room before you leave? I mean, what is? I don't know that I have a bunch of prom kids in my house.
No, but it was very lucrative because my parents moved to Vegas my senior year, and I already had a full-time job, and I was booking, and I was making a good enough money my senior year that I could stay and graduate with my senior class. So that's how I made some extra cash.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, this, that, and the other. Yep. Okay, so we obviously are definitely. Does anybody that has a question for Raphael, you can put it into the "Do you suck at golf?" Then go to McKellarEnterprises.org chat box, and he will make sure to. Well, he'll answer it to the best of his ability. We'll put it that way. So last week we had you on, and then once we got this bum off the air, we had Phil Steele on. Obviously, things improved dramatically. He was giving me a bunch of junk about that. Yeah, I know. I got mine too. So we'll get to the over-unders here in just a moment, but with the college football season approaching, okay, we're focused on September the 5th because that's when the Gamecocks kick off against Kent State. It's going to be probably a fairly warm day and hopefully not a close game at Williams-Brice Stadium. But the season actually starts the week prior too. Do these overseas games? I think they're in Ireland this year.
Is it North Carolina TCU?
Yeah.
A lot of Irish players in those two teams.
Do they? I often talk to our friend Mike Morgan about the fact that I would be pretty disappointed if South Carolina were to go overseas and play in Europe or something like that. I just don't think it's necessary. They got a great ballpark that they're putting $350 million into. I'd say play as many games there as you can. Why give up a home game? And the money is always brought up. Well, here's why. Are these international games? Is there more money that floats around in the market on these type ball games?
I'm sure, but 10 years ago, I'm on your ship talking about, no, if I was the Gamecocks, I want one. But last time I checked, college football is not for kids. It's a pro sport. So how many teams that go into NFL go overseas? We're going to see more overseas games, not just in Ireland. I would not be shocked if we see other games go across overseas because college football is probably looking at the NFL and look at how much money they're getting, how much the fans are traveling to go to those games. So your soapbox is probably sinking because it would not shock me if we see more college teams go overseas and play more college football. But for a betting point of view, it's really, really big because it's an early game. Now you get, all right, it starts at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Besides, everyone else starts like I think that day. I think the earliest one's 3 o'clock. So for us, it's a great way. And I've seen people who've gone over there or talked to people who've gone over to Ireland. They said it's a fantastic place to play. They said the bars are hopping. They said it's a great, great experience. And I think that's what people just want. They just want an experience. They're not thinking, oh, I'm missing an actual home game where my team is going. They're going to experience because how often are you going to go to Ireland to see your team play?
Well, international games are one thing. International games in Brazil are another. Remember, NC State and Virginia got canceled down there for, I guess, safety concerns or something like that. They've moved it back to Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. That will be kicking off on that Saturday, August the 29th as well. What do you think about North Carolina with what everything that's going on there? Year two, Belichick, all these, his son is suspended, or you got a Lombardi who's suspended. I mean, hell, what's going on up there?
Waiting for the head coach to be suspended. Every time I click on something social media, I'm just waiting for Belichick suspended for first 3, 4, 5 game or the whole season. That's all I'm waiting for. So I really either I'm gonna fade them or nothing with them. I'm not betting them as a favorite or anything because I don't know what's going on in that locker. You figure the kids or the pro athletes that they have, that's gonna bother them. Where half the time they're answering questions about non-football related questions. So I'm sure that's probably crushing their spirits. So it's either for me in this game, it's TCU or nothing. But again, for me, all football season long, I'm either gonna fade the Tar Heels or just not play.
Yeah, the Horned Frogs are 7.5-point favorites in this ball game.
It opened up at 6.5. I missed the 6.5 out there. So for me, if I'm going to even look at this game, then I would probably maybe live bet it. I know prediction markets have it anywhere between 8 and 9.5. So if you kind of like the Tar Heels, then that's where you want to kind of look at it. But for me, I missed a good number, so it's going to we'll kind of wait to see if it drops or what the live bet looks like.
You can check out Polymarket for a lot of that stuff too. I was looking at the over/under for North Carolina. The over/under still sits at, well, I guess it's going to sit at 4.5. I don't think that's going to move now. But TCU, I don't know. I honestly, if you. I would venture a guess. This would probably be very surface level, obviously without diving too deep into the numbers and doing a bunch of research. But if you asked 100 people, which football team are you the most unsure of this season? I just don't know what to think. Two different levels here, but I think North Carolina and LSU would be the most popular answers for two different reasons. North Carolina is sitting at 4.5. They've got a road trip to Clemson. They've got to host Notre Dame. They got a road trip to Duke. A lot of people still glance at that and then move on, but I don't. I think, Duke's proven that they can win some games in recent years. They've got to play Miami. They go to Virginia. Obviously, the Wahoos had a great season last year. I feel like you could find more than, 4 wins on this schedule because they also, have UConn and Syracuse and, I don't know, they got ETSU. Oh, man, shoot, maybe not.
UConn, don't sleep on that UConn game.
Louisville?
I mean, don't sleep on that UConn game. And, of course, Louisville. But, I mean, I had no disrespect to the Gamecock Nation and stuff like that, but I was on an Ole Miss show yesterday, and they asked me, since Texas was spending every college football team in Texas is spending a lot of money, and they asked me what team is going to be that Indiana team of last year. And I said SMU that's coming out of that conference. It would not shock me if SMU is that Indiana team of last year.
Okay. Well, Rhett Lashley is certainly publicly speaking like they might have a chance to be. They have been pretty good since they've gotten into the ACC.
But I think the U is going to be – I feel bad for the Gator fans. I mean, I love the new head coach that Florida has coming from Tulane. Which you all know that Tulane, the best football team in the state of Louisiana. But it's going to be a Florida football team for a while. I just don't see the Gators passing the Miami right now in wins or playoff appearances.
I'm not
sure.
It's
an opportunity for Miami to really capitalize on that state of Florida because Florida State's down.
Yeah.
Florida, we don't really know. And you got South Florida and Heartline there now, and I think he's going to do well there. But it's tough sledding right now for the Gators and Seminoles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like this. What Miami's doing. I mean, of course, they're spending and getting those key players in there. But I think how they're running their program before how they were running it maybe like 5 years ago is night and day. And I think that's what's bringing success to them.
All right, so Miami's over/under sits at 10.5. The two games that make that a over/under of 10.5 are on the road at Clemson, on the road at Notre Dame. Those obviously are the ones that people have circled and said, well, We'll see. Outside of that, Virginia Tech at home.
Let's sleep
Duke
on
at home.
Metallica's. I think Virginia Tech's going to be a totally different team.
I do too.
This year. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. I'm saying that in a positive way.
Oh, okay.
What I'm asking is what other roadblock stands there, or what would be the roadblock that stands out the most that is not Clemson, that is not Notre Dame? Is it Virginia Tech? Is it Duke? Is it Pitt? Is it Florida State? All those games are at home. The only other road trips they have are Stanford and Wake Forest. I mean,
I forgot that the Demon Deacons still played football, but that's another story. I mean, I think if you kind of want to look at that Clemson game, I mean, Clemson LSU, I think is going to be the story of if Clemson loses that one, then we're just going to bash Dabo for another whole season. I mean, what, they only won 7 wins last year. If you're a Clemson player and all of a sudden you're already 0-1, and let's say the Kiffins and LSU. I think if I'm an LSU football player, everyone should wear number 5 jersey for that game, but that's another story. I think if LSU beats them badly, then if you're a Clemson player, a Clemson fan, boy, that season's going to be very, very long.
And they're already preparing for it. I mean, this is, in our neck of the woods, Raphael, Clemson fans have zero expectations this season.
I agree with you. I've talked to many of them, and they're like, 8 wins, we might be satisfied. When was the last time you would hear a Clemson fan or a Clemson supporter say, "Ooh, we'll be happy if we had one more win than we last year"?
Well, I don't. Look. Is it fair to say that with the Tigers, curious because they hired Chad Morris to kind of resurrect the offense. I mean, they hired Garrett Riley thinking that they were getting Lincoln Riley, and they didn't. And then they're hiring Chad Morris. I'm not picking on the Tigers here, guys. Like that, I don't use this platform to just pick on Clemson all the time. I'm trying to call it like we see it here, but it does feel like Coach Sweeney is doing all he can to kind of go back to what works. I don't know who else was available. I'm not saying that Chad Morris might not have the best offense in the league this year. We don't know. I don't know what they're going to look like.
Well,
I have no clue.
He's hiring coaches. He's not hiring and buying players.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the system he's doing.
So you're more focused on who they did and didn't sign as opposed to play from his personnel standpoint.
Yeah, you can get amazing coaches, but you still need players. You still need those, and that's what the college football program is right now. Is players. Look at Indiana Signetti. I mean, who knew Signetti before coming in? I mean, and I hate to say ball players, but he got transfer portal people in there, run the system, and look what happened. But for some odd reason, Clemson, they don't run that way. They run that system that worked 10 years ago. I'm sorry. College football has changed a lot.
Well,
it's just going to be interesting because we did, I guess, last week, we did Clemson's over-under, and I think we all felt pretty confident in 9-10 wins for Clemson this year.
I can't do that.
Are you over the 7.5? Are you at 8? Or are you below that?
I won't go 9-10 wins. I think they can maybe have one more win than last year, but I ain't putting my money on the over because they haven't shown me anything but put my money on the over. Just as like I said, other teams like Nebraska and Wisconsin, they haven't earned my money to put over money. I don't care if their total season wins 2.5. They haven't earned my respect for me to bet that over for what they have done the past 4 or 5 years.
Okay. All right. So one team that's going to affect that win total is Florida State. The Noles will host Clemson on Halloween night or afternoon. We don't know yet. All right, Raphael, two-parter here. So Florida State, the over-under is 5.5. I don't know what to think about the Noles. Haven't done my research. But okay, so where are you over? Or are you under the 5.5? If it's even around the 5, I'm not even saying under. Obviously, if it's under, they don't go to the postseason. But if it's 6-6, if it's even 7-5, I know that Mike Norvell has an exorbitant contract, and I know that they just dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into that ballpark in the last couple of years. I got it, but it's time. It still feels like somebody down there is going to say, "I don't care. I'll write the check," or we got to figure out whatever we got to figure out. Do you believe if they hover around, are they over under? And if they hover around that 5.5 mark, is Mike Norvell still coaching there in 2027?
Want to say take the over, but at the same time, I would love to say take the under and also take the Colorado Buffaloes under because I would love to see a guy that's over in Colorado just, hey, you know what? I'll save Florida State. And he comes back to Tallahassee, and that's Deion Sanders. But I just don't see that happening. But I do think Florida State's a much better football team than we saw last year. I really liked some of the improvements they did on the D side. But last time I checked in college football, you need some offense to win games, and that's the biggest question mark, especially at quarterback.
Well, there's 5 games right now that I'm looking at that it seems very likely they're going to be underdogs in. That's for sure. All right, in the SEC, Southeastern Conference here, we're going to hold off on South Carolina for probably another week or so. But in the SEC, I want to talk to you about Oklahoma. Oklahoma's over-under sits at 7.5. And I think we touched on some of this last week, but I kind of want to circle back to it here. That didn't click with me. I think that they are guaranteed over 7.5.
I mean, it tells you when the people already bet it, and it's a juices at minus 150. I even saw a juice at minus 165 at a couple of shops as well. So yeah, I agree with you, but I missed the better numbers at 7.5, and I ain't laying minus 150. They could be all injuries can happen, and then you're sitting at a bad number with a freshman quarterback or something like that. I just won't lay that juice. But I mean, if you look at their schedule, you look at who they brought in, and you look at how they played towards the end of the season last year, for me, it's an easy over bet at 7.5. I'm just saying, for money management, that I like to say to people, it's not good money management betting the over at minus 150. Yes, the juice is high, and yes, sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. But for money management, I wouldn't lay the minus 150.
Okay.
I am so heavy on Oklahoma. I haven't bet anything, but my personal opinion is very, very pro Oklahoma this year. I think they're going to be really, really good defensively, and if they can just score 25 a game, I think they could very well win 10 games this year.
I get them winning at like 9. I think as I'm going back and forth, I think the highest some of my numbers was 9 wins.
I did an article the other day on the most difficult defensive position group, not overall defense, although Oklahoma might qualify for that too. But the most difficult defensive position group that South Carolina would face this season, and it was the Oklahoma defensive line. But I think if you just glanced at it, if you're the casual fan and you don't know much, you go and you look, you go, well, what's so impressive about that? Because it's not like they returned 3 or 4 they do have 2 preseason All-Americans up there, but from a statistical standpoint, you don't look at it and go, well, they just return all these guys who are, Brent Venables he's always been this way. He was this way at Oklahoma. He was this way at Clemson. And once again, back at Oklahoma, but as the head coach this time, it's the next group for them. Like he doesn't require, 3 or 4 guys who showed up on every postseason list last year to return this year in order for, are they talented? That's who they're going to be, and that's what's always been impressive about Brent Venables. So like when you look at their depth, look at the guys they play, they're going to put out there and they're going to put on the field to play. That's a tough group. And John Mateer, how high are you on John Mateer? Do you think that John Mateer is maybe by the middle of the season kind of in that category of, okay, if he finishes strong, this guy could end up in New York talking about the Heisman Trophy?
I hate to say I'm high or low on this guy because I have question marks on their O-line. So if he has no protection, I don't care who you are back there, you're going to struggle. So I think their O-line and their running game is going to be how we're going to portray him during the middle of the season, yes or no, as a Heisman candidate or something. It's all about, can they run the ball and can they get protection? Those are 2 ifs on that one. Yes, he has the talent to go to New York and sit there and watch maybe Manning win the Heisman, or can he get some coverage and run the ball and then show off his second half skills and be up there?
I'll give you one statistic on John Mateer that I have for an article coming up. And as an SEC quarterback, so obviously we're just talking about last season, he was responsible for a combined 22 passing and rushing touchdowns, but also responsible for 15 turnovers. either through the air or a fumble. So it's just what is he going to be? Is he going to be a turnover machine, or is he going to fix that this year and start just being an efficient quarterback that leads to a lot more points?
That's why I think they need to run the ball to get the ball out of his hands. Because if you get the ball out of his hands because you're running the ball, then his turnovers will dwindle because he's not running the ball. I think they need to be successful at running.
I think there's some similarities in South Carolina's offense and Oklahoma's offense and how they're utilizing a kid who's as talented as material. I mentioned the other day this as well. I think that in order for the Gamecocks to go to Norman this year and win again, they won 2 years ago in the first 5 minutes. If we remember, that game was over before they got to the 10-minute mark of the first quarter because of defensive touchdowns. But if Carolina wants to win on Halloween night this year in Norman, it's going to probably have to be a pretty special performance by number 16, Lenore Sellers. I think this could be a wonderful quarterback matchup that's probably not going to get a whole lot of run until we get closer and closer to kickoff of that ball game.
Going to be really interesting how Sellers, because I remember doing you guys' show before the season started, and that's all people were talking about. Heisman candidate. And boy, did he
where
fall
is he
off
now?
the face.
Where is he now in the Heisman list? What are the odds?
I don't have it in front of me.
40 to 1 as last I saw.
It's nothing like it was last year.
Sure.
Nothing like it was.
Understandably
Ticket count, money count, nothing like how it was last year. But I'm gonna. So now he has no pressure. I'm sure he's not hearing about it when he heard about it all last year. So it's probably some pressure off him. I want to see how he responds when he's not hearing about all the press and all the Heisman stuff coming into the season. I think he's probably got the biggest bullseye on his back in the SEC quarterback, because we had to hear about him all last year. Now we're not. Now we're hearing other SEC quarterbacks. Now he gets to play with pressure free.
Okay, so for somebody who will look at the odds on Polymarket or who will go out there and lay some money down on somebody to win the Heisman Trophy, how do you, as a global odds maker, then present a guy like Lenore Sellers, or how do you describe him? Because he is, as you pointed out, kind of off the radar. He was way on the radar last year prior to the season beginning. And then he's got an offensive coordinator now in Kendall Briles. And this is what people really wanted to see for Lenore Sellers, an offense that is a collegiate offense that maximizes his ability, the things that he does well, somebody who knows how to run an offense that he can excel in. So if you're 40, 45, what'd you say, Matt? 45 to 1?
Over 40. Raphael might have the number now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
some shops, as high as up to is 50 to 1 on him. So again,
so what kind of
Polymarket, my bookie, and all that, you always shop around to get the best number. Yes, we a lot of shows have just one book, but I always tell people, I'm sorry, I know I work for my bookie, a lot of stuff, but hey, shop around to get the best number. Why would you take 35 to 1 on Sellers when you can get 50 to 1 on someone else?
Yeah, what type like, from your view, what type of odds are those? Like, if somebody's going, okay, I'm going to Polymarket today, and I want to, my money's going on somebody to win the Heisman Trophy. How do you explain to them, this is probably if you want to win some real cash here, this is probably a decent place to do that, because here's what we've seen him do. Here is what happened to him last year. And then here is how he is being presented this year. How sexy is that to guys who want to put cash down on the Gamecocks starting quarterback?
I usually tell people, if you're going to bet Heisman, maybe look at 2 to 3 people on there, and then you have to look at who they play for, because you ain't going to play if Sellers, and let's say South Carolina only wins 5-6 games, then he could have a magical season. He ain't going to win the Heisman if you only win 5 to 6 games. We've seen it so many different times. So can they have bigger wins and maybe be up there like the Oregons if they win the Big Ten, or Georgia if they win the SEC, or if Texas and Manning and all that? You have to look at team wins for your guy to be in that Heisman candidate, stuff like that. So you have to look at their schedule, look at their total season wins. Okay, if they're 5.5, why am I going to play my quarterback? If we're only projected to win 6 wins at the most, why am I going to take 75 to 1 on my quarterback just because he's 75 to 1? You need to make sure you have wins behind those quarterback numbers.
The last guy I can remember that won the Heisman like that was Jaden Daniels. We were talking about him earlier. But they won 7, 8, 9 games that year.
Yeah, that was a bad quarterback.
And he put up video game numbers, so I mean, I get it. But
Yeah.
but that's rare.
Yeah. Well, so what you're saying is those who decide that they want to put their money on Lenore Sellers to win this award, they're actually putting their money on South Carolina football being
Yes.
pretty darn good in
Can you
2026.
just parlay that, Raphael? If you believe in
No.
one.
Don't parlay it. Don't parlay.
Okay.
And I tell people the reason why Daniels also, I mean, look at the team he plays for. There's a handful of teams that are going to get a little bit more respect if you have a bad season. I'm not saying South Carolina is not one of those 5 teams, but LSU
They're not.
is one of those. I would say one of those 5 to 6 teams that you have to look at who they play for, and you're going to get a little bit more love.
I mean, facts are facts. South Carolina's done nothing to earn that type of respect.
I just don't want to be that
No,
kind of
I
guy.
can say it. I don't care.
Okay.
Who's the Heisman favorite now on the betting markets? Is
It's between Manning and Carr. They flip back and forth,
Carr?
back and forth.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Hmm.
I think the reason why Manning's not getting as much, I mean, he's up there getting a lot of love. Their schedule's brutal. And I just mentioned, let's say they lose a couple of those games, and let's say, again, Carr or Oregon or stuff like that, they're up there with double-digit wins. It doesn't matter what Manning does. If he has 2 or 3 losses, they're going to give it to someone who may have 1 loss. That could be maybe Oregon.
Texas does have, I think it's 7 right now, preseason ranked teams on their schedule. It's definitely, it's up there. As
Yes,
one of the
X-Man,
most-
parlay is for the devil. X-Man said parlay
I
is for
only
the devil.
brought it up because I know Raphael
You
hates
are
parlays.
110% correct, X-Man. You are the smartest guy in the chat right now. Parlay is the devil.
All right. Final question here, and then we'll let you go. Y'all mentioned Jaden Daniels. I am loosely following this. I'll be honest with you. I haven't invested my.
I laugh more than following it.
Yeah. So why is he so upset with LSU?
I have no idea. Using his jersey name, there's 2 things that I think if you do win the Heisman, they should retire your jersey. I'm a big, but I don't know who said that. It wouldn't bother me, but I would say, hey, I brought you a Heisman to your school. But I mean, Jane Daniels was there for what, 5 minutes? It's not like he was there for all 3 years. So that's another thing. I just, like I said, petty stuff. I mean, there's worse things that's going on in the world, not worrying about someone using your jersey number and stuff like that. I think it's all going to be legalized. Some lawyer is going to probably lose on this battle. I just don't see him winning this on this. I think unless the language is much different that I don't know on some of the rules that they have.
Can I squeeze one more in, Raphael?
Yeah. All
right. So we had crazy predictions on our show Sunday night, and this is like crazy out there. But the prediction was made by Rob Williams on 4 Quarter Friday that Texas A&M does not make a bowl game this year. And he focused on the last 5 games of the season at Alabama, at South Carolina, Tennessee, at Oklahoma, Texas. And he said they got to get their 7 wins before that stretch of the season.
I agree. It's a brutal schedule, and I'm putting A&M, and me and JB have been doing this show forever, and I've been bashing Nebraska thinking it's 1990, Wisconsin thinking it's 1990. I'm tired of giving all this love to A&M, and they don't do anything. If I'm buying stock in the state of Texas, give me Texas Tech over Texas A&M.
Gotcha.
They're going to make a bowl game.
I think they are too, but I'm just saying that stretch of games that he mentioned, that's a brutal. And
Oh,
let's
it's
say you
brutal.
go in, you're a little banged up or stuff like that. Anything can happen, but I'm tired of Texas A&M. The talk of college football, and then the games actually play, and they're nowhere to be found.
I mean, it is overall the schedule is difficult. I mean, they got to go to LSU in week 4 as well. I mean, at Missouri, I mean that game could sneak up on you. But we're going to fire Rob for saying something as ludicrous as that. That is crazy. Raphael, we got to let you run. I got to get on time here so we can get Strick in just a moment. But it is always a pleasure to see you, my friend. We are now 2 weeks away from the kickoff of college football. Finally, it'll be back, and we'll get plenty of NFL stuff in with you as well. But always
NFL preseason, home underdogs 2.5 points or less. Went 2-0 yesterday. They won 7 out of their last times it's happened in preseason. It's over 70% since 2009.
Ooh, free betting advice. Really good stuff.
I think there's 3 more games this week that has that I don't have it in front of me, but there's 3 more games this week.
Okay, I'll look at those during the break. Thank you, brother.
Take it easy, guys. Have a great one.
There you
Thanks,
go.
Ryan.
On Twitter, hashtag Ask Raph. All right, when we return, John Strickland, Big John, is going to join us ahead of a big celebration tomorrow and maybe a big football season for the Gamecocks as well. Powered by Electric Bikes of Charleston. We'll be right back.
Subscribe to thebigspur.com. Proud partners of On3.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
Looking for thrills? Then welcome to the South Carolina Education Lottery, where every chance at a win comes with a chance of a whiff.
Wait, what? What does she have to be so happy about?
Well, quite a bit, Jeff. That face right there, that's a face that says fun. But when the game stops being fun and that face goes away, it might be time to take a break.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks. Mystery voice?
No problem, Jeff. Playing for fun makes you a better player, and a better player is a better you.
You know, in Gamecock Country, home truly means more. And whether you're buying or selling a home, Renee Fryer brings local market expertise and personal care to every move because it means more. Like here for Renee Fryer with Home Advantage Realty. No matter where you are in the state of South Carolina, she will make sure you have the advantage on your side. That's Home Advantage Realty, and that's Renee Fryer, always an easy phone call away. 803-271-4777. Make sure you have the home field advantage with Renee Fryer of Home Advantage Realty.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Today and every day, we celebrate our great state of South Carolina. This week, our hometown highlight takes us to the PD in Lake City, home of the great Darla Moore and our friends in Johnsonville. We love the PD.
Hey guys, this is Mason West with the West Law Firm. We want to say hey to all our friends and family out in Lake City and the Johnsonville areas. This is a great football part of the state. We can help y'all out in any way. Give us a call, 843-897-7525.
You're tuned into Inside the Gamecock, the morning show, part of the Chief Sports Network, proudly presented by the West Law Firm, and brought to you in partnership with Resto Pros of the Midlands. Go Gamecocks!
It's 11 o'clock, and you know we're getting close to football season when Big John is in this seat. Welcome back. Resto Pros and the West Law Firm present our coverage of the Gamecocks here on Inside the Gamecocks, the morning show. And there, look at that logo. Just amazing. John Strickland, he'll knock you into next week, but he'll also serve you a very fine bourbon. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys? If I'm here on a Friday, you know it's football season, right?
You're damn right about that. I can't wait to see you, man, and give that beautiful wife of yours a big old hug. Congratulations. We have kept this under wraps until as far as your name specifically until now, but I don't think we can hide it anymore because, as you told me this morning, I was in a photo with the mayor yesterday cutting a ribbon. So
yeah, it's kind of hard to, and it's all over the place. So yeah.
So I mean, congrats, man. I mean, first of all, you're my friend, and I care about you and Chrissy, and but just really excited. You know, 5 Points has been through a lot in recent years, and you and Ryan and Jeff have kind of come together for something I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about. 5 Point Social is now officially open. The grand opening's tomorrow at 5, and any of you that would like to come hang out, please do. Michael,
and if anybody wants to come today, it's kind of a soft opening, so we can get our staff ready. So if you want to pop in this evening, feel free to pop on in.
Okay, so what makes 5 Point Social different?
Well, it's going to be different from most of the other 5 Points bars. I'll just tell you this: on like Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, we will open at 11 a.m. I think we're going to do it Thursday too. We will have a full kitchen. Our chefs will be two of the assistant chefs from Hall's Chop House, so they'll kind of rotate in. So the quality should be very good. It's going to be bar style food on that side. So downstairs, basically, it's like 3 tiers to it. And if you've ever been in the building, which I know you have, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Matt's.
Yeah. A lot of time in the building.
Yeah. Which you are going to be shocked when you see it, just how different it looks. I'll tell you, Ryan Ferguson, who's one of the majority owners, along with Jeff, and Ryan's going to be over all of operations. So Ryan left Charleston, moved to Columbia, and he's going to be the day-to-day operations running this thing. And he and his team has done a really great job. And I've helped wherever I could, but Ryan's just been the one heading this thing up. So it's called 5 Point Social. We may have stole this from somewhere else. I'm not going to say where, but basically you'll have Station 90, which is going to be a sports bar. We got TVs everywhere, tables. We'll be serving bar food, wings, burgers, chicken wraps. Chef Chris, the executive chef at Hall's, he makes these killer Philly cheesesteak egg rolls.
Yeah.
And so those are going to be made fresh weekly. He's got his sous chefs on his recipes, so we'll have those, which I think that's probably going to be one of the highlights. Just speaking, I think our wings are going to be pretty darn good too, because we're actually going to smoke them and then we'll fry them to send them out.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, it's the best way. So we'll have that down there. So that'll be Station 90. So it'll be a sports bar. In the back, you have a little more elevated marquee lounge. That's going to have a lot of high-end whiskey, tequila.
Pardon me.
And that's got couches back there, TVs everywhere. So that'll be a great place to watch the game and just chill. So on away games, which we did a little soft opening last night, and we had several fraternities in there. And one of the guys I'd known since he was 12 years old, and he walks in, and I was like, he saw me, he's like, what? So he's a Sigma Nu here, and I got to talking to all his guys, and they all said, man, this is going to be the spot to watch Carolina football games for away games. And I said, that's what we want this to be. We want this to be that kind of spot. And we are going to do specials during the week, and I'm going to pass them on to you. Maybe you can give them a shout out, but we'll be open for we got Sunday tickets. So all the NFL you want on Sundays, our place will be the spot to go. And then upstairs, it's called Sandstorm Live. And once you see it, I think you're gonna be pretty blown away. It needed a facelift, and I think we did it. And we partnered with Sandstorm Tequila, and this tequila company actually did whiteout tequila up in for Penn State, and it took off like wildfire up there. So they wanted to partner with us. We were already calling our upstairs Sandstorm Live. So basically, we have their sign on the DJ booth, and Live was added to it. So we got a good partnership with them on that. So they hooked us up on that. But that'll be more. We'll have live music 1 or 2 nights a week, and then for the college kids for a good time. Or if you're an adult and you like DJs and dancing and bopping around, you can come as well. So that's what the upstairs will be. The upstairs will only be open probably 4 nights a week, but the downstairs sports bar, marquee lounge, we're 7 days a week.
I'm telling you right now, if I was living in Columbia, I'd be posted up there every Sunday, all day long until Monday.
What about the other?
I already told Chrissy, I was like, Yes,
Yeah.
we're owners. Yes, we want to make money, but we're probably going to be spending all the money we make back at the bar.
I was about to say you live way too close.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to be hanging out at.
Yeah, I think what is so awesome about this is that the way that it came together and making it a place for everybody. I mean, I know that Ryan had texted me and Jeff had texted me. Obviously, all three of you have said it differently. For especially like tomorrow, hey, you can bring the family. This is family friendly. Come in, hang out. I'm not gonna have my kids in there at 11 o'clock at night, obviously, but if you want to come in and hang out for a while, so you can get a group of people and go and have some bourbon and some food and watch some games and stuff. And then if you're into the late night thing, that's fine.
Yeah.
Obviously Jeff being invested in 5 Points now. This is what his third, and then one of the things, and I've talked to Mayor Rickman about this before. I talked to him for a while at Steve Tannehill's memorial that night.
A part of it too.
And Tabitha, right? Yeah. So, you're talking about. I remember talking to Mayor Rickman, and he was telling me kind of his vision for 5 Points, and I remember thinking to myself, I was like, "This guy gets it, man. Like he truly gets it. Like, yeah, there's some things that are going to change, but this is all. I mean, John, you and I, if there's kids listening, I apologize. As much as we love 5 Points when we were in school, 5 Points was also a shithole in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of things that there, I think, with everything that's going on with the neighborhood next door and stuff, like what a mess all that was. But there's good people like y'all who are coming in going, we could figure out something to this. And y'all done a wonderful job.
They've done a really good job of cleaning up 5 Points over the past 5 years. And I had a gentleman come by yesterday. He just popped in. He's probably in his mid-50s and owns one of those nice houses right up the street. And he came down and he wanted to check it out. And he says, well, I think this is a place I can see myself hanging out. Yeah. So I like it. So whatever age, yes, it's 5 Points, but this is a all age friendly place. And then if you want to stick around after 10 p.m. and party with the college kids, you're more than welcome to. You get that young feeling again. What's that song, Forever Young? There you go.
Yeah. Well, Forever Young is going to be riding up there tomorrow. He's got curly red hair. Bobby asks if there's
yes, we have swag, Bobby. Yeah. You can go on our website. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, it is on there, my friend. So you can go on there and check it out. Jeff came up with some great ideas. I mean, there's some cool stuff. One of the shirts has a big rooster on it, and it's got the 5 Points and then social on the other side. I mean, it's really cool.
Is there swag for purchase at 5 Point Social? Could you go in and buy a shirt like behind the counter or anything like that?
Not yet. Everything's online right now, but we will have that set up here shortly. Cool. Listen, man, we wanted to get this thing open for this week, and I think we exceeded expectations just from all the feedback we got last night. And but obviously, it's a new business. We got our own kinks to work out. So, but we'll have the merch at the place soon.
Hell, y'all had one last
swag today.
The weather threw a wrench into it last week for you, and you guys just keep having to overcome.
Keep plugging away, man. We keep plugging away.
Yeah.
And everybody, Saturday, come out 5 to 9. Before the college kids get out there. But 5 to 9 is family friendly. You can bring your kids. We got Mary English. She's a local up and coming country artist. She's going to be playing at 6 o'clock up at Sandstorm Live. We'll have food for everybody. And I hope I'm not wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure the food's going to be free. So we'll have like snacks, wings and stuff like that. Probably some pretzel bites and just things for people to munch on and good drinks.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. I'm coming for the wings. Final question here. Bourbon. There's no way that this place was built without you going, yeah, that's crap. Let's put this in here. Okay, this is for the late night kids because they don't know what good bourbon is. So
well, I will tell you this: some of the fraternity guys last night, they knew what they were, and they were like, "Oh," and they definitely got some pours last night.
Boy, these kids, where the hell are they getting all this money from? Because again, back when we were in school,
I'm at Eddie's credit card. Listen, I know how that goes.
I didn't.
We got a great wall of bourbon. So as anybody's into it, I mean, we got just about everything you could think of. We don't have any Pappy Van Winkle yet, but that'll probably be coming in December because it only comes out once a year. So that's when it comes out. We do have a B-Tac on there. We got Thomas H. Handy. So, if you've never had a B-Tac, we got the cheapest pour in town. We've checked everywhere. You can get a 1 ounce pour of a super rare bottle for $22. And anywhere else you go in Columbia or any other larger city, you're going to be well over $45 for that pour.
I will make sure tomorrow to order one of those with Big Fun's credit card. How's that sound?
Fantastic.
Because I know Michael still has one in his pocket. Let's be honest here. We know he still has one, and I've seen it. All right, John, see you tomorrow. That's going to be awesome. I do want to mix in some football because I know you got a lot going on today, so I want to get you out of here.
Yeah, I got my real job. I got a bunch to do with that today, and then later today when I'm done with that, I got to go help out at the bar.
Okay. All right. Well, before you do that, let's mix in some South Carolina football here. Gamecocks will be on the field tomorrow night. As a matter of fact, when we're all hanging out, they'll be across the road getting their first scrimmage in of the of preseason. So, look, I mean, you know it. You played the position. The main storyline for the Gamecocks is, can they get it corrected up front? And I know that lately, again, you've had a lot going on. It's not like you've been able to spend a bunch of time around those guys and things like that. But you did get a chance to spend time around them in the spring. Coach Clements, we know what Kendall Briles is trying to bring to this deal here. So for an offensive line here early in camp, going into your first scrimmage, what's important right now to get things on track?
Well, the first thing is know your damn assignments, all right? We've seen too many missed assignments on the offensive line over the past few years, have we not? So let's make sure we're all on the same page and get those assignments down. And then you just want to see guys go out and just playing tough football. And, I always say this every time I've been on here and we talk offensive line. We got to find that 5 guys who just gel the best, that everybody plays well with each other. Obviously, I think we can all say whenever Pete comes back, whether it's the first game or the third game, we know he's going to be plugged into play. Sure. The guy's just too good. But for what you got right now with Pete not out on the field, you got to find your 5 best. And you know what I love? We got some older guys. I mean, that Carter Miller, Nolan Hay battle at center is just going to be I think it's going to be a great battle because I think both of those guys are really good players, and they're old guys too, right? They've been around this game for a long time. Nolan's been with us forever. So I think that good leadership, especially at that center spot, you need that leadership at that center spot, and we got it with those 2 guys. And then you got all these other older guys that have come in and transferred to us. I mean, I think all that helps with all that. And then Shed, man, I'm so excited about him. Shed's going to be when I was out there at spring watching him, he's out there playing left tackle. It's like, what the hell? He's at left tackle like early in spring. I was like, I mean, he looked like he was a natural at it, right? And Shed's one of those guys that's going to play on Sundays, no doubt. He's that kind of player. What you think, JC?
Have you seen? But yeah, I love Shed. He's a Gaffney guy. I don't think this is news, but a college coach friend of mine went by Gaffney to check on him and said the dude was 332 pounds and standing flat-footed in the gym and just jammed a basketball like he was Charles Barkley. He's always been they got him out to the Navy All-American Bowl. He was a late ad. He was like a 3-star kid,
which is crazy.
And they got him out there and he ended up top 130. I was told about him by my friend Jason, who's connected in Gaffney. Shed started at Gaffney High School. Now that you want to talk about pressure in high school football, Gaffney is a pressure cooker, right? The whole town loves it. And he was starting at right tackle for Gaffney as a true freshman. So he was used to it last year. I thought Matt had the numbers, and I think he graded out as the top pass blocker on the line, or one of them. And run blocking was a little different, but he did well. And I mean, Tree had such a bad game against Ole Miss. There was going to be an upgrade anyway. But I thought Shedd played well. But have you seen Darius Gray? Have you seen the clips of him?
Oh, well, this was the next name I was going to.
I was about to say, I'm curious to hear this.
I can't wait to see him next week because I am going to go out to practice. I mean, good Lord. He looks like a center or guard that, I mean, I know everybody says he can play everywhere, but his stature, just the way he's built and his height, dude, he looks like he's a NFL guard or center. I'm telling you, the dude is wild when I saw that picture come out.
So what's he going through right now? Usually as a freshman, you're drinking through a fire hose.
You're trying to learn all the plays. God, it's so hard. And I know, the good thing is he got here in summer 1. Some of these guys don't get here until summer 2 or right before camp, which is never good. So he's been able to get 2 months under his belt to learn that play system. That's the thing he has to focus on. And then his athleticism, his just God-given talent will come once in your head. You're just comfortable with the playbook and you know what to do. Listen, when you know what to do on every play, you don't even have to think. You just worry about kicking somebody's ass. I mean, that's just it. And that's what he's got to do. He's got to get the playbook down. And then we'll see how good he is. It seems like every year here over the past few years, I don't know if it's good or bad, but there's always one freshman that winds up starting some games on the offensive line. So
every year
could happen again.
Sometimes it's bad.
It is.
Sometimes that's all you got.
This guy, and look, this guy can play tackle this year. He may not. I agree. It doesn't look like a tackle, but they worked him out over there, and they've been playing him there in practice because they kind of need depth at that position anyway. And I was told he looked phenomenal.
Tackle. Correct. Go ahead, JB.
No, you go ahead. You're good.
So, Strick, I don't know if you know Ross Tucker. He comments on a lot of NFL games, former offensive lineman, played in the NFL for a while. He's kind of like the NFL offensive line guru. Everybody wants him on their shows. And he said something to me that stuck out, and it kind of got reiterated to me when you said, like, know your assignment. He said, I would rather have 5 average offensive linemen than 2 or 3 elite and 2 or 3 just below average. He said you can't win that way.
That is a fact, 100%. I'll tell you what, you go back and look at my offensive line I played on my junior year. Man, it was all 3-star guys. Travell Wharton was a 2-star, 3-star. I mean, he was nothing. I was a 3-star. Jonathan Alston was a 3-star. Nashawn Goddard was a 3-star. Jabari Levy did start some games at left guard, but we also had Chris White start some games at left guard. So it's kind of Jabari was a higher recruit, right? He was pretty high up there. Yeah. But all of us were just your 3-star guys, and none of these high profile offensive line recruits. None of us were. And I think we did pretty damn well when we played. So I totally agree with that statement you just said. It's not all about the superstars and, having 2 great superstars, and then everywhere else you got guys who just unfortunately aren't good enough. It'll never mesh. You got to have guys, and like I said, take the average guy, like the average 3-star, but they're all on point and they all mesh well together. That's what offensive line's all about, man. I always think, a lot of these offensive line ratings, I don't bash them, but I'll just tell you, I just think they're so overrated.
What is ideal for having a group that you're going to go ahead and run with in camp? When do you think they want to identify those guys?
You want to identify it as soon as possible, but you'll get probably 2 scrimmages in, and then you'll kind of, after those first 2 scrimmages, you'll kind of sort down to like the 5 you think you're going to want to roll with the first game.
So next Saturday. Okay. Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. So in a Briles offense, something that utilizes tempo, that utilizes space the way that it does, John, with all the struggles that they had last year, being asked to hold blocks for 3-4 seconds. Some of we're not getting into the depth of all the issues, but it certainly, I don't know if they were good enough to do the things that they were asked to do. We've talked about that before. That's likely not going to be the case this year in a Kendall Briles offense. Thing's going to be quick moving. The ball is going to be out of his hands. They're going to run the football a lot. They're going to use horizontally just as much as they are vertically the football field. So how does that change things? What are your expectations? What are you looking for? How's that different? How does that help them?
And you're speaking specifically for the offensive line, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, first of all, they better be in shape. I can tell you that right now, because listen, they just better be in shape. I know they want to be on the line of scrimmage and snapping the ball within 8 to 11 seconds. That is fast. That means you come off blocks, and then your ass is running over to the football. Quarterback's making his calls. You're making your calls at center, and then you're snapping the ball. Just think of that pace going up and down that field. So you better be in really good shape. That's the one thing. So I think that'll be good for them. That's where camp comes into play. You did your summer workouts, yeah, you're in good shape, but are you in game shape? Probably not. Then you get out on the field, you get used to this. So I think that's going to actually help the offensive line, though, because you're going to wear the defense down. All right, so that's where that comes into play. So I like that part of it. Because you get these big D tackles, they start breathing hard and heavy, and then they got to rotate, but then you don't want to huddle up. You want to keep on the ball so that they can't sub out, and then you just wear them down. That's an offensive lineman's dream, is a damn big-ass 315-pound D lineman over there breathing so hard, and he's only about 60%, because that's when you start pancaking those guys. So I love that. So I think that's going to benefit the guys on the offensive line. And then also, a lot of the quick game that we know Kendall likes to do, it's going to help guys with the blocking. They don't have to sit here and sustain blocks. I mean, last year, you go back and look at it, man. We had some of the longest developing plays I've ever seen in my life. I think you all can agree with that. And you can't expect these guys to hold blocks for three seconds. I know 3 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but it's an eternity on a play and blocking. I mean, 3 seconds to 4 seconds of sustaining a pass block on a guy is tough. I mean, it's just tough, especially on the defensive end. Now, D tackles, you can do it because you kind of got 3 guys in the middle and, bouncing one off the other. But, I mean, that's a long time. So, quick game, I like it. I think it's going to benefit the offensive line.
John, it's hard.
The best offenses in the SEC last year from a quarterback standpoint was they were getting the ball out of the quarterback's hand within 2.6 seconds.
Yep. So, once you hit that 3 second mark, it's already, I mean, if you can sustain it, that's great. But once you start hitting that 3 to 4 second mark, I mean, it's hard to just keep sustaining blocks. I mean, it is what it is. I don't care how good you are. It is. I mean, you want the ball gone in that 3 seconds.
And Perry Orth mentioned yesterday as well, being able to get to the second level in some of these plays. You just saw it too often last year where guys never got to the second level. We'll talk more about that, obviously, as time goes on. John, I can barely block my kids from getting into the pantry for 3 seconds. So trying to block all SEC defensive lineman for 3 seconds, no, that does sound like a long time.
Yeah. Now, sometimes on your deep balls, it may take a second longer, but honestly, it doesn't. I mean, if you I'll just go look at the deep balls of Nick Harbor. This past season. I mean, the one against Clemson, it was probably close to that just over 3 seconds. The one against Virginia Tech was probably in that same frame. But once you start holding the ball back there and sitting there for 4 seconds, and I mean, it's just like, get rid of the ball, do something. I mean, I remember myself just like sitting there like, what are we doing?
So go back and watch Briles at Arkansas when they had Treylon Burks, a deep threat. Those long passes that they dialed up did not take very long to call. Sorry, not to call. Didn't take very long to call at all, but develop.
To get rid of the ball, yeah.
He just took it. It was almost like a 2.5 step drop.
Yeah.
And he slung it. And it's just a 9 route. And there's 2 things about Nick Harbor in space. Like the one thing is put him in space, like so he could do what he did against A&M. The second thing is that play. I've seen it at Baylor. I've seen it at TCU. I saw it at that's a Briles staple because they'll sit there and run you to death up the middle. They'll do the little handoff thing. They'll run zone read option. They'll run the quarterback. They'll dink and dunk. And then all of a sudden, and I can't think of. Nobody's gonna be able to catch Nick Harbor in that.
Listen, Lenore's throws the best deep ball in the country. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, obviously we want him to get a little better on his intermediate throws, but the deep ball, there ain't a guy in America that throws a better deep ball than Lenore Sellers, and there ain't a guy faster or that runs that deep route better than Nick Harbor. I mean, it's just when it's there, it's there. I mean, good Lord, he just blows by guys. And I will say this, that Texas A&M thing you just brought up, obviously I was at the game. That was one of the most impressive catches, turn, and just break through 4 guys I've ever seen. It was.
We were talking about it all that was the next step. Have y'all noticed that he takes his next step sort of 75% of the way into the season? Like the deep ball thing. That didn't really come out until Missouri in 2024. Yep. And then all year the next year it happened, right?
Yep.
So my hope is that's a
we get 100 from the start, right?
Yeah, we get because that what he did against A&M, I was like, that's what we need to see because and in this offense, there's gonna be a lot more space because they spread the field a lot wider. You know, there's gonna be a lot more room to operate, no more than that drove me crazy. But so you get the ball in a little hitch or whatever. There's space there already. The quicker he can turn up the field, he will get by those guys, and then you're not gonna catch him. You're just not.
You're just not. There's nobody on the field that's gonna out sprint Nick to the end zone. Just it ain't gonna happen.
Not with his speed, not with his size, not with his strides. The one who might be able to keep up though, Lenore Sellers, who was clocked at over 22 miles per hour on the catapult, which is just wild.
He's a freak, man. He's a freak. I really think Kendall's offense is going to benefit Lenore's in ways people just aren't prepared for. I could be wrong, and I'm going to knock on wood for even saying that, but I think this offense is so tailored to Lenore's skill set. I think he could have a big year, but going back to it, and I say it every year, the team is only going to go as far as the offensive line will take them. I'm not worried about Clayton White's defense. We got a bunch of talent on that side of the ball. I think the depth in the secondary is a little shaky, but
talented.
Oh yeah. They're just inexperienced. You got the older guys that are starting now, but we'll see how that goes. But this offensive line, I'm telling you, it all is going to hinge on the offensive line. And I'll never forget, I was out at 2025 spring practice, and I was over there, and Coach Atkins was like, "Strick, why don't you just talk to the offensive line real quick?" And this was after that big season where we should have made the playoffs. And I basically just told him, I was like, "Hey, we know we got a defense. We know we got a quarterback that is just a freak." I said, the 2025 season will go as you guys take this team. And guess what? It didn't turn out too good.
Accountability is something that certainly has been mentioned. I know to me, I know to JC. John, you saw it with your own 2 eyes in the spring. There's a lot more accountability with this group than at least we've seen around here in a while.
Old group, man. We need this. Last year we were just so young, you had some experience, but you didn't have that leadership quality, and that's why we lost 4 or 5 one-score games. We just couldn't finish. I mean, you just didn't have that old leadership and experience on last year's team. I mean, we lost it all. Listen, we had all the talent in the world last year on that team. That team had no business going 4-8. I just think the lack of leadership and the inexperience just bit us in the ass last year, and you couldn't close out those close games that you had all the chances in the world. The LSUs, the Ole Misses, the Alabamas. What's another one I'm missing?
A&M.
Clemson game, A&M. I mean, all those games were easily winnable. You had them in your grasp, but I think the lack of leadership just Those guys just didn't know how to put together and finish it. I think with this older group, hopefully we see a different thing. I mean, think about that. Think about all those games. That's 5 games, right? So what does that put you at? 9 wins? And you're going to lose some close games. It happens, unless you're just having one of those freak years where you can go undefeated. But you're going to lose a close game here and there. But you can't sit here and lose 5 close games. You can't do it.
Well,
if you go back, Strick, and you look at some of those games where you're talking about right now, just go look at the drive charts for the offense. It's 3 and out, it's turnover, 3 and out, turnover, and it's 70% of the drives.
Yeah.
The defense did all they could do to keep you in these games, and the offense just could not help the defense. I mean, it's just it's clear as day.
And that was an overachieving defense. I mean, those guys.
I told y'all beginning last season, they're going to be really good. They're not going to be as good as the 24 defense, but they're going to be good enough to where if the offense can put up points, you're going to win a lot of football games because that defense has talent. But go ahead, JC. You're right on your point.
No, I was just saying that they didn't have the defensive tackles that they got. They had 2 tough dudes and one guy playing his best football of his career, and both of them playing the best football of their career. And Goodwine's with the Vikings now. He didn't get drafted. Those guys just played their hearts out. And in some games against Alabama, those 2 guys dominated, which says a lot about Alabama.
Till the end.
Yeah, until the end. Yeah. And then,
the defense just got gassed towards the end. And
I mean,
the offense just couldn't do anything.
They had talented linebackers last year, and I overestimated them. I thought they would settle in, but they really were inconsistent because they were young and never played. Now they're back a year older. I don't think Brian Thomas Jr., as productive as he was ideal at edge, especially against the run. And all I hear about Caleb Herring is how good he is against the run, and Julian Walker. Because I think Kyle Kennard, one of the big things he did, he took away some of those, like, I'll never forget in the Alabama game in 24. They ran one of those little reverses to Ryan Williams, and Kyle Kennard knocked him all the way back to Birmingham.
JC, you remember this? Me and you talked on the phone. I went out to a scrimmage.
Then no, he doesn't remember.
But I told you, I was like, this Kyle Kennard kid is whooping the offense's ass out here by himself, just jamming up run plays and all this. And I was just like, we may have something here with this guy. And sure enough, we did.
He was something else. And I'm not saying they have to be Kennard. I'm just saying it's beneficial to have somebody that sets the edge and also can rush the passer. Carolina has it. So the defense, and then here's the crazy thing about the depth, because I've been chirping about that, the depth at corner, and worried about that since the end of spring. Sometimes Torian Gray does this to us. We sit there and we look, we're like, oh my God, who's Judge Coulier? He's probably good. He's the number 2 corner. And we get to the season and everything's just fine. Judge Coulier could play, And I saw him do it at Virginia Tech too. So like DeMarcus Leach, Tristan Lewis, Causey Barnes, those are your backup corners. Quaysheed Scott can play there in a pinch too. He played corner some at Kentucky. And because there's a battle at nickel between Gerald Kilgore and Quaysheed Scott right now. Gerald Kilgore could actually start.
Yeah.
And so they have some options. It's a concern of mine until it's not, especially if you have an injury back there. And we've seen what can happen with a certain backup cornerback last year when you have a guy that's not very good. I don't want to be disrespectful to the 2001 South Carolina Gamecocks, but in a bowl game, they had to sub, remember, and Belisari took advantage in the second half at Ohio State and picked on that the substitution. I think it was Goodman that went out because Sheldon Brown actually made the pick to kind of set up the winning score. But we've seen that a lot when you have a liability at corner. You really can't have a liability there because opposing offenses will pick on it. So I think last year that happened at times, and I think that's the key is, can these guys come in and give you, like Judge Collier did in 2022, can he give you 6-7 snaps, play it in a pinch, that kind of thing?
Yep. And, like I was just saying, the secondary depth is a little concerning, but like you said, Torian Gray, man, he just continues to do his thing. So I feel pretty good about it.
Wasn't that DeAndre Island? Did you just pick on DeAndre Island?
Kevin House.
Oh, it's Kevin House.
Yeah,
DeAndre plays safety.
Yeah, it was
DeAndre
Kevin
plays
House. That's right.
safety.
So what did Kevin House ever do to you? Why you got to bring him up?
Hey, Kevin House was a
Good player.
I know.
He just had a bad day.
I mean,
See,
you had to go back
sometimes you have a
25
bad
years
day.
to a bowl game and bring that into this. They won the game.
We were all right. So we're up 28-0. My wife
I
at the
know.
time
We were
had a
all there.
headache. She was wanting to go. I was about ready to go. We were staying in Orlando. I was about ready. We were about to go, and then we didn't hear peep from the Ohio State people for 2 years.
I know.
Didn't hear peep from them. They were half the stadium though. And then I found out what they do, and I found out about Ohio State football that afternoon because their band, the best damn band in the land, they started playing their fight song over and over again, like 8 different, like Waffle House hash browns. It's like just the timpanis, boom, 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 and they got fired up and they started marching up and down the field and they tied our asses.
Yeah,
and then Sheldon Brown picks the ball off, and Daniel Weaver from North Myrtle Beach High School drills the field goal. And
Yeah, our roommate,
glorious win for the Gamecocks.
That thing, boy, we used to make fun of it.
Just dominating them for 6.5 quarters of football.
You couldn't have dropped it over any better.
Gets over the goalpost by that much.
Dude, that was something else. And good job when Coach Holtz passed away. JB actually put his interview after that game on the front of that very fine video. And I remember in Holtz's book that he released after he left Carolina, it was right after that, he talked about it. Like that was the opening of the book. I sat there and I thought about my father, and I thought about listening to Ohio State as growing up in East Liverpool, Ohio, and I thought about Woody Hayes, and I thought about this, and it was and the kick went in. It was a great opener to the book. And man, that was a great moment. But I'll never forget, they picked on Kevin House that day, big time.
Yeah,
And so, the moral of the story, I like next to special teams, corners, the position I probably worry about the most.
Yeah, yeah. How about those corners we had though? Sheldon Brown and Andre Goodman, both those guys played 10+ years in the league starters. I mean, think about that.
Crazy thing about Andre too. He had a catastrophic leg injury, and came back.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, like early in his career. I think he broke his leg and came back. He's from East Side.
He also tore some ligaments too.
Yeah, I mean that was a tough dude. When he was in high school, East Side High School is really not all that good, but although Quay Dodd went there, but he was one of the best players they've ever had. He played offense, defense. I mean, all over the place in Carolina. It was a Brad Scott recruit. They made him into a corner, but Sheldon Brown was kind of the same way. He's running back at Lewis.
Well, both of those guys were great players, but even better people, man. Andre Goodman's one of the nicest people that I've ever been around in my life.
We've had Sheldon Brown on the show, right, JB?
Yeah, I love Sheldon. Now Sheldon's my boy.
Sheldon.
He would not knock you into next week.
Take a break.
We got to stop it here.
I just want to keep going for another 3 hours. Let's go.
I know John's bar is going to close before it actually opens.
I got oil work I gotta do for my real job.
Well, you whatever you got to do. We know we're 16 minutes past letting you go to do that. So let's do that. We got to pay our.
We got too much fun, so we just keep going. I don't care.
Good news. We will be scheduling at least one, if not more, Friday programs live at 5 Point Social this fall. John and I are going to work on that here in the next few days.
We'll get y'all in, and we'll have a good time.
First place I'm coming once I get out of Charleston and Columbia on the 18th is 5 Point Social.
There you go. There you go. John, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, boys. Y'all have a good weekend.
Appreciate it, brother. You're the man. There you go, John Strickland. All right, it's 11:41. We've got to pay some bills or we won't have a show. So we'll do that, and we'll come back here and begin to wrap things up on the morning show in just a moment.
Join thebigspur.com and Gamecock Central today for the best Gamecock coverage in South Carolina. Proud partners of On3.
Whether it's fireside or poolside, if it's time to watch the Gamecocks, Palm Casual will make your outdoor space the best it can be. Visit palmcasual.com and come see us at one of our South Carolina locations. Go Gamecocks!
Why are you throwing all that money over the falls?
If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Shopping at Gamecock Traditions is easy. Just pick up your phone. Type in GamecockTraditions.com. Select your items and purchase. They will ship it to your doorstep. GamecockTraditions.com.
The Aventon Adventure 2 takes the same basic design as the original Aventon Adventure, making it an adventure bike designed to take you places that typical roads just don't reach, allowing you to ride whatever terrain you want based on your whims of the day. Look at what you're getting. Hydraulic disc brakes, torque sensor for responsive pedal assist, great LED lighting, suspension, a beautifully welded frame with excellent build quality, included rear rack, included fenders. The list just keeps going on.
Visit electricbikescharleston.com for more.
Sell your quality sports and fitness equipment to Play It Again Sports and get paid. Recycling your in-demand sports gear keeps it available in your community. Sell, buy, trade, and win with Play It Again Sports.
If you need a new fence, railings, even new columns, there is only one call in South Carolina. Gamecock great, Ryan Brewer. Over 15 years in the industry. Visit ryanbrewer.net today.
Watch JC and Morgan every week on the Chief Sports Network. Now back to ITG.
Bring on your forces of nature. Bring on the storm that's raging. If you get lost in the shadows, there's a fire inside you. Be the light that guides you. Come on, carry your flame. Carry it higher. Even in the darkness, carry your torches. Come on, carry your flame. Set the night on fire. Even in the
All right. It's the get towards the end of hour 2 here on the morning show. Welcome back, Resto Pros of the Midlands, RestoProsMidlandsSC.com, and the West Law Firm. Can't do it without them. Certainly do appreciate those folks. Thanks to John and Raphael for joining us today on our program. Reminder: Shane Beamer will air on a special on Monday evening. So looking forward to getting Coach in after they get out there and scrimmage this weekend. Apologies go out to the House family for JC dipping him into his very large bucket of cold water for no reason at all. 25 years removed from a couple of tough plays in a bowl game, and Kevin House gets housed here by JC Sherbert. I'm just playing, man. It's all good.
He was a pretty good player. I mean, he
my
back
point
then,
was,
though, look, people.
I could come up with a lot of games in the last 25 years where the secondary's been burnt. I don't know that we needed to throw Kevin House to the wolves there.
It's weird though, man, because like those 2000 and 2001 teams had really good top 33s or so. The depth on those teams, though, like it skewed young. Like Strick, who just left us, of the 2001 Clemson game, he had to start at center.
Yeah,
that's when I thought he was going to be really good, because he came in there and played he played a really good game, and Carolina won, stamped a streak against Clemson. Almost didn't, but they did. And I remember in 2000, like you had Antoine Neesmith back there, you had Rashad Faison, and at the spur, and then you had Willie Alford at the other safety, and Goodman and Brown. I mean, that's a secondary from hell. I mean, that's a good one. But the backups were like DeAndre Island, true freshman, Dante Robinson, true freshman, Rasheem Monroe, true freshman. I mean, one of those guys, they stayed healthy the whole year. One of those guys got a stinger and had to go out. I think Neesmith got hurt, and Island was started at free safety as a true freshman for a while. But that was and it's funny because back then, everybody's like, yeah, we got these guys. Let's rock. One of the best secondaries in America. Now it's like, I'm so worried about who the third team guard's going to be. It's just like, it's like a different mindset. Carolina Price got more depth than they used to, but I think everybody else does too. And I think that's probably the crux of it.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. And I know we've talked to Coach Beamer about this before, but major credit to him for, always being prepared to put his best foot forward when it comes to retaining the guys he wants to retain. And I remember when he told me in the spring, we were talking about Torian, and I mentioned to him how many guys. Y'all remember that list that came out? I don't know where it came out, but I mentioned it to Coach. It was like since 2000, the schools with the most secondary members who had gone on to play in the NFL. And, South Carolina was up there with, I think, Miami, LSU, Virginia Tech. But like two of the top four were Virginia Tech and South Carolina. And I mentioned to Coach, said, well, Torian Gray was at both those schools. And there's a denominator there, and he said, "Yeah, he's a beast, and that's why he made him the co-defensive coordinator and upped his cash." He's like, they were coming after Torian every year. The NFL comes after Torian every year, which year he's been in the NFL. Other college football programs come after Torian every year, and he loves South Carolina. But also, Coach Beamer is like, "Yeah, no, you could be the co-DC. Like, we're not going to let you." I do wonder if Coach White. There are programs out there that have been interested in him as a head coach. So maybe, I mean, this is his 6th year as a defensive coordinator at South Carolina. If they turn in a really special season, and he gets an opportunity and he wants to be a head coach, it's probably one that he's going to need to take. And you wonder if your Coach Beamer, is that where it falls? Do you hand this thing off to Torian Gray and keep it kind of in the family, or do you have a short list of guys somewhere else? I don't know. I don't want to go projecting on those things, but it's interesting to think about too.
Yeah, the first guy you talk to, right? Hey, do you want to do this?
I mean,
you are the co-DC,
right? Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I mean, so was Lorenzo Ward. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, Torian's been doing this for a long time. Has not really even seemed like a guy that was all that, fired up about being a D coordinator, pursuing that. Because I mean, he didn't, but he's elite. And I'll tell you this: what I think we all need to hope, and I hope the defense doesn't fall flat on its face this year. I don't think it will, but I hope it doesn't. I think they may give up more points than we're used to because of the style of offense, but. I think you want to hope that Clayton White is Brent Venables. Brent Venables could have had a lot of head coaching jobs from Clemson, but he waited on the right one.
Yeah.
And it's Oklahoma. And a lot of coordinators will do that, or they're like Mickey Andrews at Florida State, and they stay. And if the longer Clayton stays, the more it means Carolina's having success.
Mm-hmm.
He's already, when he gets to year 7, he will tie the modern era record, or at least the since Jim Carlin record. Richard Bell, who ultimately became the head coach for 1 year here, was the longest serving DC that Carolina's had. I mean, Spurrier filtered through them pretty good. Muschamp had T-Rob, but obviously they weren't here for that long, and the rest of them, and Wally Burnham was only here for 5. But I think the fact that he's been here and the consistency season to season, and you hear this word standard a lot from the media availability, the standard, is up there. And even in a year last year where he had a lot of personnel losses, I mean, they were right back there competing and keeping Carolina in games. And they put together quite a bit of talent and quite a bit of coaching talent. But, what's going to happen though if Clayton leaves, and I believe in my opinion, if he keeps doing as well here as he has, and you hope he does, they're going to get sick of winning 7 games a year at NC State. They're just going, we need to change, and they're going to get rid of my favorite coach, Dave Doran, and that's his alma mater. And I think they'd be, if he's still rocking and rolling here, they'd be dumb not to hire him. So kind of we'll call it the reverse Ray Tanner, going from South Carolina back to I guess.
I think
no,
what
that would be a
Deputy
little
Smitty said here. You just do that. You never let Gray leave. The moment he thinks about it, lay a check on his desk and let him fill it out. Do the same thing with Clayton White, because they're making so much money at this point. Like, to go be a head coach somewhere else, it has to be for me personally, if I was ever that successful as a coordinator, it would have to be the stars align. And this is a head coaching job that's going to pay me more money than I'm making right now, and I'm going to have potential long-term success.
Yeah, like Ellis Johnson
thing now.
Ellis left for Southern Miss because a head coaching job, right? Now with the money, I mean, you got, Clayton White makes 3 times as much as Southern Miss can pay max.
Right.
So it's like, why should I go? Now NC State can pay more than that for a head coaching job.
Some of those jobs too are taken when you feel like I need to get out of here before I go out the door with whoever's about to go out the door. So there's always reasons to move around. I'll make 2 points on that with Clayton too. One, the stability of a leader on defense. Where do you think Shane Beamer could have ever come up with such an idea? I mean, Bud Foster was the defensive coordinator at Virginia Tech for 300 or 400 years, I think. And then you have the other side of that. This is the 3rd straight year we're going to go into a South Carolina football season with a known, and it's the same side of the ball. When we went into the 2024 season, there was a lot of unknowns as it pertained to the offense, right? Y'all remember that? We felt pretty good about that defense going into 2024. They knew those guys were going to give them a chance. Last year, John just said it perfectly. I remember all these conversations. We knew that defense was going to be solid. Not great, but they were going to be solid. This year, we feel once again like we know this is probably going to be a pretty good group. This is also the 3rd straight year where we really don't know anything about the offense. We think we might know, but we just don't. That is stability. Right there. That's it. Like, that's what you want as a head coach, right? Where you have guys leading a side of the ball, or in any sport. Baseball could be the offense, it could be the pitching staff, whatever. We know, for the most part, what we're going to get out of this group every year. And the only way that you get there generally is having a guy who's good enough to stick around, and you want to keep him around. And they've done that with Clayton White. So, I mean, Shane Beamer has done a really nice job from that standpoint. And now if you can just get the offense there, then that's where you get a good program that puts out pretty consistent results year to year.
Yeah, and look, as a head coach that is a guy that's, needs to have great coordinators. That's a key, and that's not an insult to Shane. That's Kurt Signetti, that's Urban Meyer, that's Dabo Swinney. They've all won national championships. You need those guys. Like Nick Saban, Alabama knew their defense was going to be good just about every year, and he'd change coordinators and all that because he set the consistency standards of that program. And kind of had a plan and a structure. He's just a freak, but most coaches, it's good to have that guy, that's there on one side of the ball or the other. And then say what you want, because what's going to happen is if they promote the co-defensive coordinator, secondary coach when Clayton White leaves, the fan base is going to kind of revolt a little bit because of what happened when Ellis left and Whammy took over. Eventually. Now, Whammy was pretty doggone good when Brad Lawing was there calling the front, and Whammy kind of dug his own grave because he made some terrible hires to replace guys that left. But, the people still have muscle memory and things like that. And it's the same situation. I think my opinion is I think Torian Gray would be a heck of a D coordinator when the time comes, if that's something he wants to do. And I think he's worth every penny of the money. There's not very many guys out there in college football. There's kind of a cornerback shortage and stuff that can do what he does. Carolina needs that, and it fits with this program because, as you mentioned before, the history of great defensive backs that have played here, and there's always a lot in recruiting you can go get in South Carolina and around. I just think that it's something that Torian Gray fits very well with the Gamecocks.
One of the best things about Torian is just how calm, cool, and collected he stays. And if you talk about a standard and you talk about having that quiet confidence that players can relate to, I think he would be an excellent defensive coordinator at some point because he knows the game so well and he relates so well to players.
Well, we're going to start to feel it out after this weekend. 6:56 tomorrow night. 6-minute abs. What if you did 5-minute abs? You can't do abs in 5 minutes. It's got to be 6-minute abs. In case any of you ever missed, there's something about Mary. 6:56 is when they will schedule or practice scrimmage tomorrow night. Tomorrow night they are done practicing this morning. Today was the first full day. For today, I can't do this anymore. This has been a long week. Today was the first day in full pads, top to bottom. They'll certainly be wearing those tomorrow night. How close is close enough to get to Lenore Sellers? I would say if you cross the line of scrimmage, stop running. That's probably going to be
You're going to hear a quick whistle.
Fairly accurate, if I had to guess. Sunday is a National Roller Coaster Day. Matt, what is the craziest roller coaster you've ever been on?
Gosh, I don't know if they're still operating right now, but Fury 425 at Carowinds is pretty intense. I mean, Rock and Roller Coaster Disney World 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. That'll wake you up.
Yeah. How about you, Mad Dog?
Yeah, I've ridden both of those. But I tell you what, we went to Six Flags over the summer here, and the wildest thing I've ever been on, I think they call it like the landing zone or something like that, where it's a straight vertical incline and then like an over vertical drop. The car stopped right at the bottom of the incline.
Oh.
So yeah, we were sitting there for like 3 minutes.
I told you not to go to Six Flags over Georgia.
They finally got
I warned him.
Again. Dude, that was I'm not good on that straight up, straight down. That's not for me.
That was it. Yeah. Oh man. I was like, how long has it been since you've been there? Oh, about 13, 14 years. Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. We went on a Tuesday. Like we were like, okay, what's like the least, kind of day that's gonna hit? We went on a random Tuesday. Of course, it's Atlanta. It's blazing hot. But we had a good time. But yeah, that I'll never do that again. That straight up, straight down stuff, not to my liking. I'll ride everything else, but not that. Almost everything else, because I don't do like the loopy starships or the real high swings either. That's not can't handle that.
Yeah, JC, what's the scariest roller coaster you've ever been on?
The Swamp Fox in Myrtle Beach.
I was about to say the scariest roller coaster I've ever been on, South Carolina football. But
the Shane Beamer era in particular has been a roller coaster.
Yeah,
and it's but the Swamp. I thought the Swamp Fox is. My mom was not even born when they built that thing,
right,
in Myrtle Beach, and
yeah.
My family used to own Family Kingdom, so I would get free tickets to go ride it in its current state. And man, I thought I was going to fall out of that damn thing early, like when I got on it last time. The coolest roller coaster I've ever been on, not scary, is Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot. It's an amazing. It's a really cool ride.
Yeah, I want to ride that.
I'd say the scariest one I've actually ever been on is not a real roller coaster. It's more like a kid's coaster at Santa Land in Cherokee. And the reason for that was because of the guy who was operating it and the fact that I was fairly sure I needed a tetanus shot once I got it off of it. I was like, so we just get on this thing? He's like, yeah, Bo. What happened to your teeth, man? Did you fall off the roller coaster? Or?
Carnival folk, man.
They just come in, they just grow like that. No. All right.
AED. Yeah, we're Ghost Town in the Sky. Maggie used to have this roller coaster there.
Yeah, that one was a little hair raising there.
Kind of demon
cliff or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so that's right next to my family's house, and so every time we're up there, but we the lady who bought that is a Maggie Valley native, generational. They actually live right there on Soco Road. And she has got some suitors of who want to buy it and kind of try to figure it out. It's been bought and sold a couple of times, and they've had some issues with some stuff, some environmental stuff, whatever. It's going to take a little bit more money, I think people were thinking. But they've got, from what I just heard actually a couple of weeks ago, they've got some real investors here looking at this going.
I think it was about nine and a half years ago. I was in Maggie, and kind of a cloudy day where the clouds are down around the mountains, and we went to where the Ghost Town chairlift.
Yeah,
and so you look at the old abandoned amusement parks are scary.
They sure are.
And you look at the chairlift ascending into the sky, and it's like, oh my God, what if Ghost Town in the sky? Oh, boom, boom, boom. I got away with it if it weren't for you damn kids. You zoinks, Jamie. Whoa. Whoa, Ghost Town's really scary. Oh, that's right, Shaggy. Jinkies.
Yeah, well,
Scooby-Doo.
Makes me want to go up to Cataloochee and go eat. Also, JC, Sunday is National Bratwurst Day. I got a feeling it's going to be a pretty hopping place up there where you live.
All around me. My kids don't eat it. My wife doesn't eat it. I love it. I've got a great recipe, but the wife eats it. But, I don't know. The kids don't. So I've been cooking for the kids. I'm doing it for the kids.
Doing it for JC, for the children.
For the children. Oh, the children of the world. That's what I think of, the children of the world.
Matt, you said you're sticking around for the final hour?
Of course he is.
Yeah, I am.
Why? Why would
here.
you do that?
I got to hear more stories from JC. They're always the best on Friday afternoons.
I mean, I don't want to talk about carnival folk, but I may talk about carnival folk now that Jamie put the bug in my ear.
That's right. Now that it's been planted.
Okay. Well, I won't be doing that.
I'll pass.
I will not be paying attention.
No, thanks.
All right. Well, I'm going to ease on out of here then. Appreciate everybody this week for popping in. A reminder, if you're going to be in the Midlands tomorrow and you'd like to come by, 5 o'clock over at 5 Points Social in, guess where? 5 Points. And again, we will continue to keep the Toman family in our prayers. Tough day for Carolina baseball, as he will be laid to rest in the Midlands. But what a life, Jim Toman. For John Strickland, Raphael Esparza, the king of late night, Matt Anderson, Mad Dog, and Schubert. I'll see y'all on Monday.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
Walk me through the toughest case or situation we've had to handle without names or locations. Just what was the toughest situation?
The hardest one was there was an individual that defended themselves in their home and they're still criminally charged. And there was evidence that they were being sought after for something that they weren't technically involved in. And they're being charged criminally because they defended themselves inside of their own home for doing what was right and what we believe at Right to Bear to be a human right.
TheBigSpur.com, now part of On3. Join for just $1 today.
When you buy and sell your sports and fitness gear at Play It Again Sports, you support a local business. We pay our customers for their quality used sports and fitness gear and resell it, recycling it back into your community. Support local, score savings.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture presents our coverage of South Carolina football. Visit palmcasual.com today. Make your outdoor space the best it can be. Go Gamecocks.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Coffee, weekday mornings with JC Sherbert. Watch or listen on the Chief Sports app, the Chief Sports YouTube page, and available on Apple and Spotify.
If you own a home, don't wait on these home safety tips. Flush your water heater, clean your dryer vent, and inspect your roof annually. Don't forget to check washer hoses and caulk in wet areas. Visit RestoProsMidlandsSC.com.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Ryan Brewer Fence offers a variety of services ranging from fences and railings to columns. Our craftsmanship, experience, and service is second to none. Visit ryanbrewer.net today.
Why are you throwing all that money over the falls? If you're buying a Honda or Toyota, that's exactly what you're doing. Look at the Kia Sorento. Get a third-row SUV for $8,000 less than the Highlander. Toyota only has a 5-year warranty. JT's Kia has a 1,000,000-mile warranty.
Don't forget JT's Advantage Package. Oil changes, roadside assistance, and so much more.
Choosing a Sorento over a Highlander is a no-brainer. More features, better warranty, and you save over $8,000.
We're serious about saving you money.
Killian Road, I-77, or Greystone Boulevard.
JT's Kia.
Is this your golf game? It doesn't have to be. Visit McKellarEnterprises.org and improve your game today.
Do you carry? Carry responsibly with us. What could you lose from a self-defense act? Visit ProtectWithBear.com to find out more. ProtectWithBear.com.
Clowns are people too. Clowns are people too. Now I own some tiny horns and got me those red shoes. I don't know much, but know one thing that's true. If you don't know anything, just know that clowns are people too.
Now back to the clowns on the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome in, everybody. It is Inside the Gamecocks, the show here. Final hour of our live super stream. It is Friday, so we are going to have a little fun to wrap the week. I am Phil Mad Dog Mullinax, cutting through the orange fog of the upstate of South Carolina. JC Sherbert, my co-host over there. And since it is Friday, we are joined by the late night Gamecock, Matt Anderson. Welcome in, Matt.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Always a good time on Fridays. I look forward to it. It's my favorite day of the week.
Nice. Awesome.
Everybody's favorite day of the week. McKellar Enterprises chat box is hopping. Deputy Smitty is in. Thanks to him. He had a great segment yesterday.
Yeah, man.
In with us. We appreciate him. He's heading to the 5 Point social opening. I texted my wife. I was like, is there any way we can catch a late flight to get down for it? And I really want to go. The times like this, most of the time I kind of just ignore that I'm here.
The happenings that are
just kind of stay in my own bubble and ignore it. But like times like this, I'm like, God, this sucks. Of course, I heard it's 1,000,000 degrees down there. So maybe
essentially, yeah.
Essentially 1,000,000.
Yeah, the high today in Columbia is 98.
98. I heard it felt like 110 or something. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for all of you that are going out there to support those guys. I mean, that's my man Ryan, my man Jeff, my man Strick. It's their thing. I've actually got a little in June when I was down. I got a little private tour of what they're going. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a great place for Gamecocks to gather, and good people running it. So please check them out, and thank you to all that are going. It's one of those things that makes me happy. But people support good people, even though I've got serious FOMO about not going there. So anyway, Krager said, please keep Julian Walker healthy. Yeah. I mean, they've got some depth over there, but that he's good enough to where you're going to miss him. I mean, you're going to miss that guy, even though he's a freshman, if he doesn't play. But that's what you have depth for. And now Julian Walker's not hurt. I've heard nothing to indicate he's, there's going to be some bumps and bruises and things like that take place during camp. But, what's scary is, Tennessee, they're down 2 defensive players that could have started that were at least in the 2 deep. One was a starter at linebacker. And then their only guy at safety, safety's a big question mark up there this year. Their only guy they had, Farouk, that was coming back. He got carted off the field in a car today, and the ambulance took him. Leg injury. It doesn't sound good. We saw what happened with the Carolina Panthers at the beginning of training camp with all those injuries. So you just kind of hope it doesn't rear its ugly head at South Carolina, because there's certain positions where I believe you can, you can maybe survive it a little bit. But a lot just depends on who the individual player is, because there's some guys, no matter how much depth you have and no matter how many good players you have on the roster, they're just a cut above. Mm-hmm. And you're going to miss that little bit extra, right? Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with that. So you just got to hope everything's okay. I mean, you've already got 2 difference makers already questionable for the opener, Peak and Stewart. Those 2 are different situations, but you got a little concern there. So you don't want to, you just want to stay healthy this time. I mean, that's the key to any fall camp anywhere. Stay healthy. I mean, and it's crazy, we were talking about Juge Collier, Juge Collier earlier, and he stayed healthy all fall camp last year. It looked like a break. I mean, then Virginia Tech game, planted the wrong way. And so it's just football. It's just football. But we're all really excited, or even the people that are the naysayers. People look at this roster and they're like, there's some ball players on it. And
just check all the helmets for Vipers. You saw that story out of high school football.
I would quit. I would just quit playing football.
I thought about you when I read that. I was like, oh man.
I'm Indiana Jones. I hate snakes.
Gosh, I'm just 2 hours in the helmet, and
how did you not know? Why didn't it bite you?
It's probably really scared. It was getting hit in the head a lot.
It's probably a bit of an experience for the snake too, right? Yeah, like, what have I got myself into?
A 2-foot viper.
Talking about CTE.
How did this
That
happen,
snake was in a bad place.
My second thought was about one of those kids who just walks into their house and pulls a snake out of their pocket. I was like, oh, look, this kid grew up.
Oh, so this thing burrowed. Yeah. This thing burrowed into the and kind of the padding on the helmet. So it couldn't bite him. Well, that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
Dude, I would just be like, oh my God.
Could you imagine that thing coming out of your ear hole though, mid play?
No. No, imagine coming out the front of the helmet and you're trying to tackle somebody, they're running away. Why are you running away? Come here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that would be harrowing. I don't know if my heart would have been able to hold that even at that age. Probably would have just died.
Cottonmouths are serious too.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, they were like viper. I'm like, well, there's a limited number of vipers that could be, and then they had a picture. I was like, oh, great, cottonmouth. That's not fun at all.
I mean, you'll survive a cottonmouth bite. The way I understand it, you go get your care. It's not going to kill you like a rattlesnake might, like quickly. But yeah,
it's the second most venomous snake in the United States.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't want to.
I'm sorry. In Arkansas. But no, I mean, I was like, good Lord, I guess Maumelle High School must be near some water. That's why I don't swim in rivers, man. All these people that are like going like, let's go down the river. No.
Oh, you didn't know a snake can't bite you underwater, JC.
Nobody's ever told me that.
Cottonmouth
will swim at you on the surface though and open.
Right. No, I think that's a myth. I think they can definitely bite you underwater.
They can swim underwater and they can swim on top of the water and
I love the coach.
I want to talk about
that. He had to talk with his team in the locker room. Like, all right, now make sure you're checking for snakes in your pads.
You got a new nickname now, Snake.
This
is Tommy Snake Smith.
Yeah, that's right.
Some of these there's a wide variety. I've been doing enough high school football games now. There's a wide variety of PA announcers at these games. Some of them are legendarily good. Some of them are local legends that do it for years. It's like, oh, well, Ernie Mack, he's there at Mount Vernon High School and, he's in there in our PA every year. And the local paper does a nice article on him. He's sitting there smiling with the microphone. Then you have some guys that are just like teachers that are just morons, like at my stepson's school. Cranking out the Bon Jovi at the game.
That's right.
That's 42 years old, that music, living on a prayer. Can't get anything right, mispronounces names, that kind of thing. And then there's what I call ultra enthusiastic guy. This also is usually a teacher. It's usually somebody in the drama department that also likes football. And they're just like, it's a first down, Patriots. That guy can go jump in a hole. and I'll tell you why. It's the same concept as why Kroger Field at Lexington is the worst place to watch a college football game I've ever been. Because it's not there's so much attention on himself that he ruins the whole game and atmosphere. Instead of being nuanced to being a PA guy, and letting the band play, or then letting you hear the cheerleaders during a timeout, or you're making an announcement, you're honoring, some club winner on the field with a professional announcement. And all that, you're sitting there just looking, and congratulations to Deanna. The science winner. You're putting effects on your voice and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this isn't you're not.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
This is a Wendy's.
So... Anyway, TDE did ride the old Swamp Fox at Family Kingdom. They did work on it. It's not as terrible as it was when I was a kid. Yeah, I rode it last in like 17, 18, 19, something like that. Never again.
Last time we were there, it was not working.
Yeah, I mean, it's 175. See, right. When my family bought it, they bought it after Hugo, and they restored the whole thing. I mean, it's really more of a, but that's after Hugo. I mean, that's in the 90s. So
yeah.
Still, it's all under new ownership. So it's one of those things. Yeah, Skip Burtman died today. I'm sure Jamie talked about it. Mm-hmm. Hell Rooster says the JT Kia's commercial is the loudest thing on earth. We probably should turn that down or ask for a new one, because I've noticed it too.
It is
nothing against JT's Kia.
No,
it'll wake you up. Maybe by design,
sounds like a used car commercial,
or just change. I mean, just we can't use it. I mean, no offense to anybody, but JB's gone. Let's talk about carnies. Bobby's 60-40 going to high social.
Yeah, nice.
Bruin said, when we put 65 on Tennessee this year, they're going to blame their injuries on Beamer. Clayton White, like Pat DeMarco and Whit Merrifield guys actually have a new podcast, and they interviewed Clayton White. And I put this on the Insiders Forum. So he explained it, the wristband thing. And this is very, very interesting because what he said was during the week, he had an idea because they're trying to simulate Tennessee's tempo on offense, right? It's hard to do in practice. And so he said, let's give the scout team offense wristbands so they can look and just call the play and go super fast. Give us a look. And Cam Smith pops up and goes, why can't we have wristbands? Just for defense. And it's like, well, okay, that sounds good. So they gave him these wristbands. And he said that he's glad they had them. He said he only had 6 defensive plays on the wristband. And he was like, come on. And then he said at some point in the game, Tennessee was going so fast that he was calling 2 defensive plays at a time and telling the guys, just don't look at the sideline. Just do this next. Look at the wristband.
That's right. Do this, then do that.
It's either wristband 1 or wristband 3. and so, yes, the wristbands helped. But if we remember in that game, Carolina did not have – it's not like they stopped them. They lost a game to Georgia early that year. I don't even think they broke 20 points. That was a good Georgia defense. Carolina stopped them, though. Carolina did not stop them. I mean, they stopped them enough. The thing was, Tennessee couldn't stop Carolina's passing game on offense. Carolina scored all, up and down the field, and then Hooker got hurt.
Yeah,
Carolina won that game, I believe, primarily because Hendon Hooker had, before he got hurt, had the rare off game with his downfield passing. If you remember, he misfired on a couple of guys deep that were open. That was their secret sauce all year. Hooker was one of the most accurate downfield passers in college football.
Yeah, he was lighting it up long.
Just dropped it in there. And in that Georgia game, he was off down in Athens because I remember Jalen Hyatt was wide open in the end zone, and he just overshot him in Athens. It wasn't even that they had a lot of pressure or anything. And then in Columbia, he was off, and then he got hurt. And then, but that whole myth about that, it's just crazy on Tennessee fans. And look, I agree. It didn't make any sense week to week. It's one of the dangest things I've ever seen in years of Carolina football.
It blew all our minds, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Bruin
I
Nation.
personally guaranteed on my show the Gamecocks would lose by 28 plus that game because I really thought that was going to be the outcome.
We gave up before that one on the show because we were like, we thought Carolina, they lost that game to Missouri at home, which is annoying. Bounced back. They beat Vandy on the road. In kind of a weird one. And then they go to Florida. And it's they go to Florida, right? And Florida ran the ball well. You're concerned about the run defense. But you're like, well, if they play offense like they played up at Vandy, they'll be fine. Ran the ball right into a 420-pound offensive guard all day. Couldn't block. Kept running substitution pattern. It was just all. And then the defense, of course, could not stop. I think the doors blown off of them by an average Florida team. 38-6. And so we were like, yeah, Tennessee's going to kill them.
Yeah, right. It's over.
And I think we're all in the 50s. I think JB was the most positive of all of us. He's like 55-21.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I was like 52-10. And Phil's like 56-13. We all picked that.
It was ugly.
And SEC Nation was there, and I was up watching. I was like, well, they're Carolina or whatever, because the game was at 7, and Herbie and Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit were calling it. I was like, that's cool. There wasn't a lot of good games that weekend. And so, and Shane Beamer was on. And I just kind of started thinking, I'd gotten a text earlier in the week, like, we're fixing this. I wonder how they're going to fix it. He seemed eerily confident, like, oh, yeah, it's flush it like Shane does. He's flushed this week. He's ready to go again. And, man, that was unbelievable. That was an unbelievable game. A lot of my friends who never miss a game sold their tickets. I didn't go. Can't watch this. So, Luke said, if you score every possession on offense, you win the game no matter what you do on defense. Yeah. I don't know. Did Carolina score every possession? They did have to punt a couple of times.
I think there were a punt or two, yeah, but not many.
Hell Rooster says he's not trying to cause problems, but his ears bleed. No, I mean we need to know.
Oh, you're right. It's.
I don't mind that kind of feedback, especially when it's not. You know. Hell says I'm glad we play UT off the bye. Plenty of time to put loads of sand on the field.
That's right.
Here's the sand.
I'd have every player on the field wear 2 wristbands.
Call it Sandlapper night.
Just to troll the hell out of them.
Well, the other part about where that game falls on the schedule, you get them right after they play Alabama, and it's their 8th straight game, and they've already got injury issues.
Right. It's going to be tough.
I don't, man, looking at their defensive personnel and then knowing what most people around college football say were Jim Knowles is a great coordinator, but his last, it takes guys almost a year to get into it. Penn State last year was not really all that great on defense. And now you're losing personnel, and
you have to play complementary football to Heupel's offense like that. You can be the best defensive coordinator in the world, but if your defense is out there, 14 possessions in a game, you're going to wear down eventually. There's going to be a shot.
Yeah.
That bites you. So,
yeah, I mean, you've, and so I don't know. And then you're talking about starting a freshman, your quarterback's not. And look, in that system, though, I mean, I don't put it past a true freshman quarterback lighting it up. And you look at their schedule. Now, I don't know what happens with all these personnel losses, how that evolves.
Yeah.
But you look at their schedule, and their 2 road games before they get to Carolina are at Georgia Tech and at Arkansas. So you got an ACC team that lost its heart and soul and its offensive coordinator in Atlanta, where you're going to have probably of the 40 or the 52,000 at the game, you're probably going to have 30,000 of them. You have a sea of orange at Grant Field. So that's one. And then your other is to the worst team in the league that you owe a little something to because they upset you a couple of years ago.
They almost did it last year too.
And so then the home games are like they play Furman and then I think Kennesaw State, but they also have Texas at home. It will surprise me none to see Texas lose at Neyland Stadium.
Right.
And then they have Auburn, who's first year head coach rebuilding, Alex Golesh going home and all that. Then they have Alabama, who by the day, a lot of us are kind of digging into it and not just going, oh, it's Alabama. It doesn't look the same on paper. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's better. I don't know. So Tennessee could come in with a lot of momentum. Like I said, I don't, you start losing guys like this and you're thin behind them and you can't stop anybody. And, your young quarterback's good, not great. And he messes up and makes mistakes. You'll lose to Texas, you'll lose to Auburn, and you'll lose to Alabama, and you may lose to Arkansas. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to that game, though, because, Shane Beamer was on with Bill Gunner, and Bill was talking about how it's good to play Florida, Tennessee, and Georgia again. We all grew up with that, right? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
What do you think about playing the SEC East big boys again?
Yeah, it's long overdue. I don't know why those things weren't. I don't know why they didn't set it up with pods to start with, similar to this, and just go with it, even with 8 games. I think, but of course, I'm on the record as saying that Birmingham mishandled everything when expansion came. So, especially scheduled
this time. Yeah. Well, they've had it for years, and it's been a little. Look, here's my thing about them: they do the best they can. It's tough because when you're scheduling, you're not just going. Well, you're not just worried about like ballot. You got to worry about order, or whatever. And they tend to kind of learn because, and then TV's getting in there like, well, you can't have this week where we've only got, Mississippi State and Missouri, and everybody else is playing, out of conference. SoCon Saturday, right? But you look back on it, they caught some heat when Missouri and A&M came in the league because of like what they did to like Carolina and some other schools. Like, so in 2012, and it was 2012, 2013, they blew up the rotating schedule and they just threw teams in there, right?
Yeah.
And so Missouri came on. I think somebody else came off. In 12, Carolina ended up playing Georgia at home, at LSU, and at Florida, 3 straight weeks. Meanwhile, Georgia was like, Ole Miss. I think it was at 12. Yeah, Ole Miss wasn't quite there yet. They had an Auburn team that lost every single conference game that year. There's no Alabama. There's no LSU. There's nothing. I'd have to look back and see who all Georgia played. But Carolina beat Georgia pretty bad, and then Georgia got it together and beat the Gators in the Swamp. And so, they ended up winning it because the Gamecocks were dead tired and sick when they lost at the Swamp. And Georgia didn't have to play anybody, all right, so here's what it was. So the Dogs opened up with Buffalo. They beat Missouri. They beat Florida Atlantic. They beat Vanderbilt. And then they had a shootout win against Tennessee. And I think it was Derek Dooley's last team in 12. Then at Carolina, they got creamed. Then they won by 5 at Kentucky, which Kentucky would have beaten them. Then they got it together, went down, beat Muschamp's team, and won 17-9. Florida was 3rd in the country. It's a big win. Ole Miss comes to town. They're not quite ready. At Sanford Stadium, they beat them. For what? Auburn was on the road, but Auburn wasn't worth a crap. And then they beat Georgia Southern, Georgia Tech. So they ended up winning the division and then avoided Alabama, LSU, A&M, and Johnny Football. Mississippi State was pretty good that year. They played Ole Miss and Auburn from the other division, and then won every other game besides Carolina. So that ended up not being fair. And so this time around, I think they tried to be a little more fair. Then there's all the complaints about we want to play everybody, but you also want to preserve the rivalries. It's a hard job. When you're mandated to do it. What I think is they need to change the formula, go to pods, something like that.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do it.
Well, with the pod system, I don't think it's helped South Carolina at all not to have Georgia and Florida and Tennessee regularly on the schedule, because when you're recruiting against those programs, head-to-head matters. Like if you can't say, well, we beat Georgia 2 out of the last 3 years, it hurts when you're going up against the same prospect. And we've seen that with Georgia and what they've done on the defensive line. South Carolina and Georgia went after the exact same players, and South Carolina lost every battle. I think if they had 1 or 2 more wins against Georgia in that time frame, they probably would have won some more of those recruiting battles.
Maybe so, yeah. Look, and I'll say this. Georgia and Florida are back home. They've given, so the 3 permanents are Kentucky, Georgia, and Florida, so half the East.
Yeah.
The only complaint I have about the only wish I have about the schedule this year, I would like to replace the trip to Norman, Oklahoma with the trip to Nashville this year. That would be my wish.
That's right.
This is the only one that makes sense, or Alabama, Alabama or Oklahoma. There's no need to play Alabama and Oklahoma 3 straight years if you're Carolina.
No. Yeah,
OU may not have been may not have been possible though, because maybe it just wasn't Carolina's time to play Texas. I don't know. So,
but if they hadn't have gone to 9, the schedule was set up to where you were doing a home and home, Austin and Columbia, because that was the way they sold it to us, when
everybody 7 new teams. It would just be Kentucky. So you'd have Florida, Tennessee, Georgia back.
But you'd
also have Auburn, Texas.
Auburn,
Arkansas
Texas.
would be back home. Mississippi State would be back home. All right, I'm going to write this down during the break, and we'll have a little powwow about it.
Yeah, which schedule would you prefer?
Oh, yeah. Inside the Gamecocks show. We'll rock on after this.
Join thebigspur.com and Gamecock Central today for the best Gamecock coverage in South Carolina. Proud partners of On3.
Gamecock Traditions is your Nike Superstore and your home for anything and everything with a South Carolina logo. Visit us in the Midlands and order online at GamecockTraditions.com. Go Gamecocks!
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
Walk me through the toughest case or situation we've had to handle without names or locations. Just what was the toughest situation?
The hardest one was there was an individual that defended themselves in their home, and they're still criminally charged. And there was evidence that they were, being sought after for something that they weren't technically involved in. And they're being charged criminally because they defended themselves inside of their own home for doing what was right and what we believe at Right to Bear to be a human right.
TheBigSpur.com, now part of On3. Join for just $1 today. When you buy and sell your sports and fitness gear at Play It Again Sports, you support a local business. We pay our customers for their quality used sports and fitness gear and resell it, recycling it back into your community. Support local, score savings.
Palm Casual Patio Furniture presents our coverage of South Carolina football. Visit palmcasual.com today. Make your outdoor space the best it can be. Go Gamecocks.
The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you.
Contact local agent Gary Patterson for your personal price plan today.
A really common fear in a workman's compensation case is what's going to happen to my job if I report this injury? And my answer to that is you still need to report your injury. I'm dealing directly with the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to treat you like a file number. So let me make sure that doesn't happen to you. Let me get involved in your workman's compensation case.
Coffee, weekday mornings with JC Sherbert. Watch or listen on the Chief Sports app, the Chief Sports YouTube page, and available on Apple and Spotify.
Welcome back, everybody, inside the Gamecocks, the show here. Going to play a little what if, looking at the current schedule versus what the schedule would have been had the SEC not been bent over and caved to the Big Ten to go to 9 conference games for basically a handshake and a bill of goods on the change
wink
to the yeah, that's right.
A gift certificate to Foga de Chao.
Yeah, that's the whole "trust me, bro" is enough to, I think, to void Greg Sankey's contract. But we'll save that discussion for another day.
Absolutely. Okay, so here's how it would have shaked out, because what they were going to do is go, and now look, this is a hypothetical, because what they may have done is like reset it and gone, well, because it was going to be a 1-7 format. So the only team Carolina would have played every year was Kentucky.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is, like, every other game was like a rivalry type. I mean, every other team kind of had a team in the conference that they wanted to play. But like A&M and Texas wouldn't have been played every year. Auburn and Georgia have played like a bunch of years consecutive. They wouldn't have been played. So, but anyway, here's who Carolina would have had: Kentucky, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, Auburn, Arkansas, Mississippi State. 8. But they'd also had Miami on the schedule.
Right. Yeah. Would have left Miami. Yep. Mm-hmm.
We'd have been pretty. I mean, that would have been kind of something else. To have Miami coming in here for the opener, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what though? I still would have enjoyed that.
I'd have been here for it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take it.
I was not upset when we're watching that, and I'm like, yeah, we'll take the runner up. Come on, bring it on.
Yeah. So which one would you guys rather have? So throw Miami in there. So you've got a schedule that includes Miami, Texas, Georgia, and then Kentucky, Florida, Tennessee, Auburn, Arkansas, Mississippi State. I like that better than having to go. And I don't know if home or away how that would have played out. A lot depends on that. Miami, of course, would have been at home. Clemson would have been away. I don't know. I think it's. I think the names on this year's schedule and the fact you play 9 are probably a little bit more daunting, but you have to keep in mind what you essentially, everybody's like 9 SEC games. All right. But you essentially traded Arkansas for Miami. Arkansas is on the road. If you want to use a home game, you traded Mississippi State for Miami, basically. That's not harder.
No. Yeah, right. That's the step down.
Matt, what are your thoughts?
I think that college football still needs more of these non-con games that move the needle. So, like having Miami, I would have really appreciated. I still think that South Carolina having to go all the way to Oklahoma with this season, it's like what the SEC did when A&M and Missouri came in. Oh, well, you're going to play those teams every year, and we're going to make you go every other year halfway across the country that nobody else has to do from, where South Carolina sits in the SEC. I think any way you slice it, the schedule is still a bear, right? I mean, you have Miami. Okay, they're better than Mississippi State. They're better than Arkansas. I think the season would have played out largely the same, but I'm just happy that they have the old SEC East teams, like a lot of them on the schedule, but because that's what it needs to be going forward for South Carolina. But yeah, give me Vanderbilt all day, every day. I'd much rather have Vanderbilt on the schedule than Oklahoma.
Yeah, that would have been the only. I don't even think I think it's Alabama you could have replaced because, one of the reasons Carolina is playing Oklahoma third straight year is because you get every school in the league gets either Oklahoma or Texas every year. Mm-hmm. That's how they did it. So Vanderbilt would have to take the place because it would be a road game. So it would have to take the place of Alabama. There's no logical world where Carolina is supposed to be going to Tuscaloosa for the second time in 3 years. Carolina's never even played Alabama 3 years in a row.
Right.
I mean, it just
hasn't on for over a decade's drought at times.
They went to Tuscaloosa once since 2009, and that was 2 years ago. So there's really no logic to that. That was a dartboard thing. But
give me Vanderbilt instead of Alabama for sure there too. I'll keep Oklahoma on the schedule. Yeah, that's fine. They just have a mess on their hands. I don't know what they're going to try and do to fix it.
I think it's the least of their concerns too. I don't.
No, I mean TV dominates it. TV's going to decide the matchups way more than Birmingham is in any given season.
And they're doing the best they can. I mean, and with the transfer, so it used to be. So when Carolina came into the league, their permanent opponents it used to be a 5-1-2 format. So you played your 5 or 5-2-1. You played your 5 division opponents, right? 12-team league. And then you had you had 2 permanent opponents from the other
one
division.
That floated.
And then a floater. And you'd play them back to back. So when Carolina first came in the league, Alabama was the floater. They played them in 92 down there. I think Dabo was on that team. And they played them in 93 in Columbia. And then they'd rotate off. And then the next year was LSU, 94, 95. You just kind of work your way through. And Carolina played Mississippi State and Arkansas. Fair, right?
Yeah.
Because if you didn't have a rivalry game, and there were a lot of those people in rivalry games, that would be how it would work out. Other schools, I think Florida had Auburn and LSU every year. That was because Florida actually has an old rivalry with Auburn. That was because before the expansion in the SEC, it was a little weird how they did the schedule. Like sometimes during the 70s, they would count non-conference games and you'd play 5 or 6 SEC games. You have schools that never played each other. It was a weird deal. I mean, we think it's weird now. It's just very strange. So that happened for a while. Well, then they were like, well, there's no need to have 2 permanent opponents. We want to play other teams more often. So we'll have 2 rotating opponents. And, so in 2002, that was the last time Mississippi State was a permanent. And Arkansas remained because of 2 newcomers in the league. So they played Arkansas for another 10 years every single season. And then they were like, well, let's just have no permanent opponents. They switched them. And everybody got mad at Ray Tanner for getting A&M as the permanent opponent.
Which still made no sense. Like South Carolina going to College Station every other year.
But here's what was going to happen. If you remember what year, people need to remember what year it was. It was 2011. I think it actually was Eric Hyman that signed off on this. It was Eric Hyman because Hyman left in the summer of 2012. And if you remember Texas A&M, when they came into the league, they just fired Mike Sherman, terrible hire, NFL guy, right? 6-6, Big 12 team, couldn't stop anybody. That's the program that Oklahoma beat 77-0 one day. I mean, they were not. Missouri was actually a little bit better than they were coming in. Nobody was fearful of them. Missouri's coming into the East, right? And so LSU and Florida for years. If you think about some of the controversies they've had in that series, LSU versus Florida, and they play every season, and not just the throwing of the shoe, there was that hurricane game that they refused to make up in 2016. And they finally did at the end. I mean, they want it out. And then, those years when Urban Meyer was at Florida and Les Miles was at LSU, I mean, it's tough. I mean, why do we got to play these guys every year? They're not in our division. And LSU's like an Alabama's in our division too. I mean, we got to play these guys every year. And so they wanted out. So what LSU was pushing for, Florida was going to get A&M. And LSU was like, give us that bucket of chicken in Columbia that we beat every time we play them.
Right.
Which at the time, Spurrier was here, Carolina was rolling. There's some competitive games. But still, you didn't want to have to put LSU on the schedule every year, plus Florida, Georgia, Tennessee. Okay? This wasn't. And Carolina was like, no. We're not doing that. We're not. No, we're not. LSU's kind of like, we'll get rid of Florida and have South Carolina.
I'm looking at it right now. I mean, just tell me the ones that don't make sense. You have Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Missouri, check. Auburn, Georgia, check. Florida, LSU, check. Kentucky, Mississippi State, check. Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Alabama, and then South Carolina, A&M. Like, it's not even like a state over.
This team's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, and it was just like, well, A&M needed somebody to play from the East every year,
but just the fact that it was either LSU or A&M, like, still multiple states over. We couldn't have done this better.
I think that also was a part of Carolina's success, because I mean, it would have been fine Arkansas would have gladly kept playing. Arkansas would, but. And it just so happened during that time period, Arkansas kind of went into the wilderness. It'd have been great to have played Arkansas. Yeah. It used to be a bad thing. Now it's like, let's play Arkansas. But it's kind of crazy because they tried to force this rivalry between Arkansas and Missouri. Arkansas and Missouri, even though they're bordering states, had played 5 times ever in football before they got in the SEC ever. Right. And they're like, it's the red line rivalry, baby, or the Battle of the Ozarks. And so they tried to say, well, we're going to force this Arkansas Missouri thing. So they're out. Arkansas's out. Mississippi State's like, no. We're not taking South Carolina and getting rid of Kentucky. Kentucky's always been our permanent opponent. We love each other.
That's right. We love each other.
Ole Miss, which it's been tough playing Ole Miss lately, but back then, no. Ole Miss.
Vanderbilt was probably happy.
Well, Vandy, when Ole Miss is down, and they have been down more than they've been up, Vandy kind of beats them sometimes, But there's a reason. Ole Miss, the more I learn, I used to like them just fine. The more I learn about them, I'm like, that is a rogue, shady, operation out there in Oxford. So they went back in the history books and dug up some. I mean, William Faulkner may have written this article, right? This old documentation of the historic rivalry between Vanderbilt and Ole Miss is like, I declare that's why the Rebels must play Vanderbilt every year.
The Rebels and the
like
Commodores.
Some Shelby Foote. Shelby Foote could have narrated this thing. I just declare Vanderbilt had a very fine fullback. He was from Greenville, Mississippi. His name was Beauregard. Beauregard ran straight through the Vanderbilt Commodores defenses that day. I mean, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with any of that crap.
No, it's a drive chart written on.
It's like
charcoal, right?
Vandy sucks, and that's a win.
We want that.
Vandy was the most popular girl at the party for every SEC opponent that when they were talking about no, we love Vanderbilt's very important. It's very important to our historical rivalry. You're messing up history, okay, guys?
I mean, in Tennessee, okay, so normally, Tennessee's. So Tennessee gets Alabama as a permanent. There are 3 permanent opponents now are Alabama, but they also Kentucky, where you play for the Bourbon Barrel,
right?
And Vandy, because Tennessee, when they were kind of struggling, you felt sorry for them because even when they were pretty good, that would just happen to be the year LSU was really good, and they rotated on the schedule, and then they always had to play Alabama during the Nick Saban era every year.
Yep.
Now, never mind, Philip Fulmer once beat Alabama 9 straight seasons and owned the rivalry. But Alabama, they couldn't beat them. And so you felt bad because this is an extra L. Doesn't matter, home, away, neutral, you're not going to beat them. And it had to hurt their pride. But I felt sorry for them then. So I wasn't so oh, that's a bunch of crap that you get to play Kentucky and Vandy every year just because they're close. But they do. They're fortunate, and it is that's not a manufactured rivalry like Arkansas, Missouri, or Ole Miss and Vanderbilt.
Tennessee wasn't, even Tennessee fans, they weren't terrified of Alabama in the way a lot of people would be because of that success they had in the past. They wanted to preserve that rivalry because we're going to beat Alabama next year.
Yeah. And they would always talk about it's kind of unfair that we got to play Bama and y'all get to play this team or another, but that's kind of how A&M came around. But I'm actually, I don't mind playing A&M. It's not a big deal. It's a far trip, obviously, but I'm kind of thankful they're off the schedule next year, just because it's kind of overplaying them.
Right.
I would rather actually play Missouri than A&M. I know that sounds sacrilege because Carolina's had a lot more success under Beamer against A&M than Missouri. I just, if you're going to give me one, give me another, because A&M will always be dangerous because they're in Texas. They have money. Right. They always recruit well. So even, now look, Texas A&M could be 7-5 this year. Brad Crawford's spring prediction in 25 could be a year early. I mean, don't put it past them. I mean, their history is not super.
If I had to pick somebody outside of the traditional SEC East, I think I would pick Arkansas, probably from familiarity. But I have a buddy that played football at Arkansas, and I was talking to him a couple of days ago, and we were looking at the schedule, and he was like, Matt, what do you think about Arkansas? What do you think about South Carolina? And he was like, in my opinion, Arkansas and South Carolina are like twins separated at birth. Like they have the same level of preseason expectation, but they all know eventually it's going to be 5 and 7 and have those sporadic years of 8-9 wins. He's like, they are twins separated at birth. They should play every year.
I didn't mind them as
I don't know
opponent. I was kind of happy to see it go away. I think just because we had been traumatized by the amount of rushing yards they give.
It was 14
backs.
Razorback. They played 24 times. Arkansas is 14-10. I don't know that they're the same though, Matt. Arkansas's got way better tradition and history than Carolina, but they're almost they've almost become a Nebraska. Like Nebraska's advantages when they joined the Big Ten went away quickly. Like, they went away quickly. Arkansas has been kind of a slow roll, as the Texas schools, as Texas has become more of an SEC state, they've lost their kind of ability to go sell in that state and get recruits. Arkansas is also really good at other sports like men's basketball, baseball, track. So it's weird. I think Carolina is probably the most similar. Just as far as a team, like in my opinion, who they should play. And you're not wrong, and your friend's not wrong.
No, it's not even my opinion. I was just saying
I'd love to play Arkansas. Yeah, and it's funny you said it this year because the expectations should be miles apart.
Yeah.
Arkansas, I mean, God bless them. God bless them.
We went through the schedule, and he was just saying, look, man, we're going to go 2-10. And he said, this just reminds me of the year that he said that they played SMU coming off like their death penalty. And it was the only game that SMU won was against Arkansas. He's like, that's just what happens to us.
Yeah, dude. Arkansas football has been tough through the years. But, the state of Arkansas is not it's way smaller than South Carolina now. It used to be kind of the same size, centrally located capital, that kind of thing. The only difference is like the University of Arkansas. It would be like if there was no Carolina in the middle and it was just Clemson up in the north, because Fayetteville's in the northwest corner of the state, just like Clemson is near the mountains. Mm-hmm. So is Walmart. Clemson near a Walmart, that Walmart and Seneca, baby.
That's right.
But look, I think Ole Miss would be the team I would want to play every year.
I thought you were going to say Kentucky.
Well, no, Kentucky's in the SEC.
Yeah, so we're taking the West teams, right? Yeah.
As far as who's similar to South Carolina through the years, Missouri. Probably like a Missouri. Missouri doesn't have much history, but they've been kind of dangerous during this era at times. That they could get players. You kind of find out they can get players. There's some similarities to A&M too, like as far as tough luck and things like that. And expectations and support, but A&M is just such a different animal because they're just a giant. It's like they got 7 times the fans Carolina's got. They got more money than God. I'd say Ole Miss.
I like the Ole Miss call.
I don't know that Ole Miss is similar to Carolina. I think their fans it's a little different, but but that's a team I'd want to play every year. I think South Carolina and Mississippi should play. If it's geography from the old West, I'd probably play Auburn every year.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I think we all got PTSD from that series, even though Carolina's won two in a row.
Well, I blame Tennessee for Missouri being slotted in the East, because if it weren't for the Tennessee-Alabama rivalry, it would have just made natural sense for Auburn to move to the East.
Yes.
Yeah, had Alabama as a permanent opponent, but then they're like, but what about the third Saturday in October?
Yeah, there you go.
We can't not have the third Saturday in October.
If you look at the line they drew, though, and you look at Columbia, Missouri is actually closer to half the old East, than they were to 5 of the 6 in the West, miles wise. Mm-hmm. It's actually closer to Lexington, Knoxville, and Nashville than it is to like Baton Rouge and some places, Auburn and Alabama, places like that. It's weird. Missouri is an outpost, ladies and gentlemen.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It's out there.
It is, bro. It is. I'm glad they're not. Now, I would rather play them yearly, so you get used to it. I'm glad they're not on the schedule this year. And that's just because I think Carolina's going to be pretty good. But we talked about Clayton White earlier.
It's the one coach, man.
There are coaches that, Bobby Petrino, speaking of Arkansas, had Ellis Johnson's number.
Yep.
It just happens. Eli Drinkwitz in that bunch, they have Carolina's number defensively. Luke said we're trying to pick the easiest games. I like the matchups. No,
we were just trying to sub out a game, and then we went down a rabbit hole of talking about other things.
Yeah,
it's Friday.
It's Friday. Oh, by the way, happy anniversary to Robert Smith from The Cure. Speaking of Friday, I'm not sad anymore.
I'm not sad anymore.
Man, now that Joker's wedding picture was up on that. He looked happier than I've ever seen him. If a woman turns you down 6 times for marriage and you write not only a collection of songs, but a collection of hit songs,
Build a career.
After her, build a career, world famous because of it. And she finally says, yes, your music's going downhill for a bit. This is why we didn't hear from The Cure again until they lost, you don't make money off record sales anymore. So they got to go tour. And he's looking like a PE teacher dressed up like Edward Scissorhands for Halloween out there singing. He still sings beautifully. But man, you go through all that real trauma and you finally land it. That's what the Gamecocks winning a national championship in football is going to feel like.
For real.
When Robert Smith from The Cure finally got the girl. That popped in my head because it's Friday. Oh, I'm in love.
I'm in love.
Where did that come from? She was still dissing him at that time.
I know.
Maybe he's just going to go. Maybe he realized he's off work and going to drink his sorrows away. So he's
Head on down to the pub.
Maybe he found some joy.
Always find some joy.
Absolutely. Matt will be back Sunday night with a late night Gamecock show with Rob Williams. And look for his basketball insider update. A lot of insider notes for the men's basketball program up on thebigspur.com. Now, you're looking to go to a high school football jamboree tonight. FourQuarterFriday.com's got you updated with a lot of them, not all of them, a lot of them from around the state. They've changed some times. They've canceled some of them.
Yeah.
Don't want you to drive here, there, and yonder. This heat and show up. There's nobody at the stadium. It'd be sad if you showed up like middle of, out in the country and the stadium has really good hot dogs. So you're like, honey, we're just going to skip dinner because we're just going to have us a hot dog in this game, boy. This is going to be good. You show up and it's canceled. What the hell? It ain't even that hot.
I can't even get hot dog.
Last time you're taking me out for a fancy Friday night dinner.
I can't believe he did that. We were supposed to go to the fish camp.
Now we'll never be able to get in.
Luke wants to play Bama every year. I'd take that now. Not when that cyborg was coaching down there.
That's right.
No,
Dude,
sir.
Crazy enough, Bama has not covered the spread against South Carolina since the year 2000, home or away.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Carolina usually plays them pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially the last 2 years.
9-point loss in the past 2 years. You're like, oh, yeah.
Even the game, like that game got out of hand in Columbia. I mean, you look, it was 47-16 in the fourth quarter, but heck, had they not called that, it was a penalty, right? But it didn't have to be. You could have ignored it.
That's right.
That fake punt hits. I mean, they'd have been in the daggum thing. And then the worst call in that game was Dowdle was not down before he got in the end zone.
Yeah.
And so you're down 24-10. That would have made it a one-score game. Carolina played pretty well that day. My Bama guy, because Bama was really good, he texted me. He's like, this should be an 8-win team. Well, they should have been.
That's every year, Georgia, South Carolina, Bama friend.
That's right. Welcome to Columbia.
No doubt. Doc Graybeard, good to have you back in the chat box. We'll holler. He says, I got nothing on Lori Bronsfield. Yeah, I'm sorry. Krager called Ryan Silverfield Lori Bronsfield.
Lori Bronsfield?
I don't know, man. He seems like a great guy. But man, you're like the third straight person from Memphis that has parlayed that to another job. The others are Mike Norvell and Justin Fuente.
Oh.
So that's all. I'm going to leave it with that.
Bronsfield, I love it.
He's from the Norvell tree. All right, guys. We're going to get out of here. This has been the show. See you.
See ya.